And we have a person who just quit smoking. Northern Light, a.k.a. Beans. Good luck to you. You've got this, girl. I'll make sure I turn off my camera when I smoky. Thank you for all of your support. We've got True Crime Kate coming in with 2 months, and she loves being in Cooterville. True Crime Kate, we love having you here. Thank you for your support. Giselle gave 5 cooter ships while we were jamming out before the stream, and so did Miss Flo. And Miss Flo, I hope that your family is feeling better very, very soon. Good job, Crimeology. She quit 5 months ago. And then Flo says, I went to donate and I have 21 months. Thank you so much, Flo, for everything. And I've got to play a cooter chat. We got a cooter chat, too. Here we go.
Thank you for the hard work. I always look forward to your streams.
Thank you so much, Galen, for your support. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for the cooter chat. If anybody would like to send a cooter chat during the stream, feel free. It's up at the top. You bypass YouTube, and it's read out. Like, it'll stop me in my tracks. When I hear that do-do-do, literally stops me in my freaking tracks. So thank you so much. Am I quiet? Hold on, let me fix that. I should be better now, maybe? I don't know what's going on. Let me know. We always have this mic issue. That is really nice, I know. Hello, my mind likes true crime. So I did a little surprise for you guys. I figured because this Patreon's new and it's a little boring. So I thought that we could do a little, what is it? LJ, El Jingo. The G is silent, like someone said. We want it to be. So we've got a pretty long Patreon live. It's audio only. Thank you. Hey, beautiful sunflower. And hello, Harmon. Good to see you. Good to see everybody that is coming in. Good to see you guys tonight. So yeah, it's a little slow moving. So at the beginning, I'm going to start with it a little faster, but because the ending is wow. I actually changed the title before I went live because it was like, this just got weird. So we're going to start out a little bit faster. Hey, Crossbody. Hey, Pontoon. It's actually a light pink. Does it look white on the camera? But thank you. Hey, Ark. You quit smoking June 2016, and I still enjoy the hit. I smell around town. I know. I'm glad you're here, too. I'm always early, then get distracted and end up late. Well, this was kind of a pop-up live. I've been all over the place, so. Hey, Crochet. Hi, Blue Painted Love. Oh, my God, DB, what? Okay. So we've got our card over here. I'm going to read the squares off. On the Lejingo board, we have therapy. John Quote's book. Hold on, let me get this over here where I can see it. Therapy, John Quote's book, cucumbers, trauma, autism, John makes diagnosis, Grayson overshares, IQ, inappropriate laughter, Lauren slurs, John interrupted, name drop, like, ADHD, schizophrenia, violence, ODD, our son, arousal, John's study, Grayson butts in, awkward moment, there might be more than one, psychopathy, and family tree. This, I should have called this live, everything that you didn't want to know about Grayson, but now do. Everything that you didn't want to know about Grayson and now do. And I may just have to change it after this stream. So if I miss something or, if there's a thing on the board, you guys know, use the red X emoji in the chat. Let me know what I need to mark off. There is a little bit of a delay, so give me a few seconds. I did not listen to this. I just kind of skimmed through it to make the best board I could. So I hope you guys enjoy. And again, the Cooter chat is pinned to the top of the screen. It will stop me in my tracks. Hit the like button and let's go.
Hello, Hidden Gems. It's, Lauren and John.
Hey,
I usually
Janice.
joke that I have to not introduce us because obviously it's us, but there's also a couple other people here, or one person and one dog.
Hold on.
Lily just walked in. Hi, Lily. And Grayson.
Ooh.
I'm not cheap. Just broke. Red heart emoji.
Thank you, Paper, for the Cooter chat. How fun. How fun. Thank you so much. I'm not cheap. I'm broke. Same here. Hey, Moody Booby. Thank you for joining. Welcome in. Welcome to Cooterville, everybody.
She says, "Welcome to Cooterville. Everybody close your legs. Everybody coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs.
I don't know when it was recorded, but I think it was put out last night. You are at the beginning, Burning. Hey, Penny. Hey, Nana. Nona. Why do they have audio only? Well, you're going to hear. Because Lauren's not camera ready. She didn't put her plastic on. She didn't put her plastic on before the Patreon.
Is here with us at the table. We are at the table.
They're
where we
all
do
at the
these
table.
Patreon specials as well as sometimes our episodes. And actually, just before we turned this on, I was telling John how I want a new table, but it's going to be hard to part with this one after everything we've been through with it. It's like,
True.
You know, oh, Lily, you love this table. Lily gets fed at this table. Anyway, hi, Grayson.
Hi.
Lily gets fed at the table.
Yeah.
I would
So,
never- yeah.
Yeah, I was eating cucumbers before I turned this on too. I will stop so that no one has to deal with crunch because this is audio only. And you've got, John has papers out, and Grayson
What kind of papers?
brought
Rolling
up
papers?
today what she would like us to talk about on Patreon. And she said, she actually said, I really want you guys to do an episode on this. And she started talking to us about this case, and it was interesting.
I'm very
And
uncomfortable sitting here.
she kept sharing some interesting aspects of why it would mean a lot to her to talk about this case. And we finally said, you know what, let's do this for Patreon and invite you on. And then she said, video or audio? And I said, we're turning this on right now. No video for me tonight. Huh, Lily. And Lily's, feeling a little sheepish too tonight after her big debut. Lily, I don't know if you know, John, she sat through an entire episode. She's got thousands of people admiring her. Huh, Lily? So we're going to give you a break.
She's angling for your cucumbers, but I think once she learns it's cucumbers, she's probably going to be much less interested.
Actually, no, she does like cucumbers.
Oh, she does?
Yeah,
Oh,
when
okay.
she was a puppy, she would get sick all the time. So I did this whole thing. This is like peak
I shall
20-year-old
have
dog
fun.
mom, too much time on her hands. I did all this research for raw feeding a dog. Like, it would take me hours every single week. And she ate fruits and veggies and raw meats and a lot of other stuff.
Angling for the Toe Beans. I want to give you a special shout out, Toe Beans. Toe Beans and Holly. Holly, welcome to Cooterville, girl. Welcome on in and close your legs. But Toe Beans, I want to give you a special shout out, girl. You have really had my back, and I want you to know it does not go unnoticed. Are they having a threes? I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable sitting here.
It was ridiculous. I did it for like 2 years, and then I eventually was like, I love you, but I can't keep up with this. And I did a slow transition back to dog food, and she thankfully took to it and does not get sick every day anymore.
That's impressive. Well, Lily is only sitting by me right now, and it's because I have the cucumbers, and also she knows that I'm the one that feeds her at the table. So I have created that bad habit, but you deserve it. You deserve it. You're the cutest.
It's why she likes coming to work with me every day. She's
I
like, I
agree,
go there
woman.
and I get food. My mom doesn't give me people food.
Do you love being head of HR? You deserve it. You're the cutest.
It's why she likes coming to work with me every day. She's like, I go there and I get food.
That's why she likes coming to work with me every day. I go there and I get food. So are they really trying to make it look like the orange couch isn't at Grayson's? Come on. We know it's at Grayson's. Home Goods. It went from Home Goods to Gray Gray's apartment. Thank you so much, Shell. She said, Jay, you the best. Love you a long time. I love you too. And give that grandbaby lots of kisses and hugs from us. I think they don't want us to think she lives there. Or I mean, that they're always at Grayson's.
My mom doesn't give me people food.
Do you love being head of HR? Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So she's making us all smile right now, and we're going to talk about a very sad case. So
Fortunately, as head of HR, she has a very small department to run.
Cheapers.
She doesn't have too many responsibilities.
Just me.
And
Just me.
and the one person she supervises is very amenable to her direction.
I want to explain why we decided that too, because covering crime is difficult. We're about to talk about a difficult case, and it is so nice to have a dog here that doesn't know what we're talking about and is just like, I love you guys, and I'm here to pet, and I'm soft, and I just want to sleep with you guys. So
I know.
anyway, but Grayson,
Sleep
why
with
don't
you
I
guys.
have this?
Wait. Wait, what? Did she say sleep with you guys? I thought they were sitting at the table. Who's you guys? And when does her dog sleep with you guys? Did you guys catch that? Listen.
Guys, and I'm here to pet, and difficult case, and it is so nice to have a dog here that doesn't know what we're talking about and is just like, I love you guys, and I'm here to pet, and I'm soft, and I just want to sleep with you guys. So
I know.
anyway, but Grayson, why don't I hand this cell phone recording over to you and tell us about this case, and welcome. I guess you've done Patreon so far, so I can't welcome you. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Meg, I don't think she likes dogs.
No, I was
She's
at
pretending.
home was it last night, whenever, and I saw this case.
Wait, hold on. Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's awkward moment. I'm with you guys.
Done Patreon so far. So
Listen to this.
Welcome back.
Yeah. No, I was at home was it last night, whenever, and I saw this case.
I was at home last night or whenever. When's the last time you went home? Why are you shacking up over there? That's weird.
Patreon so far, so I can't welcome you. Welcome back.
Yeah. No, I was at home was it last night, whenever, and I saw this case.
I was, oh, yikes. So she stays the night. Confirmation.
Bing bong.
And then Lauren said the dog just wants to sleep with you guys.
Online, and it just resonated with me a lot. I don't share it a lot. I have two siblings on the spectrum. One struggles a lot more than the other. And so this case was this 11-year-old in Pennsylvania who, his name was Clayton. His name's being publicly put on news, so I figured we could share it. And he was turning 11 this week. His family stayed up until midnight to sing happy birthday to him, and they, I guess, had taken away his Nintendo Switch, and it was time.
So I'm gonna give you guys like a little warning that she's talking about a case where an 11-year-old shot his father. Just so you know.
Time for bed, and he got angry, and it seemed like he was looking for his Nintendo Switch, found the key to his dad's gun safe, and ended up getting, I think it was a revolver, don't quote me, a gun out of the gun safe, loaded it, and shot his dad. The dad passed away. But as I was looking more into it, I just kept seeing, like, I saw a letter. I'll actually say it was, her Facebook name is Abby Blabby. She posted it. It was a letter from the parents to the school district, like essentially begging the school district to put him in a special needs school for more help. They'd adopted him in 2018, so he was around 3, I believe.
Okay. We don't know the background really about adoption.
I couldn't find much background on it, but you could just tell that the parents had been, like, begging for help. And in my own experience with my siblings, and specifically,
Oh, it gets even worse. Thank you, G Lander. Can we say boundary issues? Absolutely. And I think that Lauren knows exactly what she's doing by letting Grayson put this leakage out there. It gets really, really personal. I can't believe that Lauren, as her boss, would ever let her put what she put in this podcast for them to make money off of. It's so weird and so gross. Hey, Felicia, good to see you.
My brother, my family had a really hard time growing up because he struggled a lot with violence and with outbursts. I'll share his diagnosis. I actually talked to my family today
Before you do that really quickly, I think there's some important aspects of this case, though, before you go forward about your brother, because it's so shocking to hear that a little boy just shot and killed his dad. I think part of the case before we go forward is what happened after the child.
Yeah.
The child said what? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so explain what happened that we know so far in the case, because that'll explain maybe the mindset the child was in.
Yeah. So sorry, I was trying to get to why I wanted to cover this so bad.
Jay, I'm here for the circus sound clip. It suits these clowns.
Hey, Shelly Bean, thank you for the cooter chat. What's the circus one? Oh, this one? You know what? You're right. I need to get that warmed up. Thank you for your cooter chat.
I came in and told Jonna, we got to talk about this. So Clayton, trying to get to why I wanted to cover this so bad. I came in and told Jonna, we got to talk about this. Clayton, sorry, I was trying to get to why I wanted to cover this so bad. I came in and told Jonna, we got to talk about this. Clayton, the mom hears a noise and smells what she says smells like fireworks, nudges her husband, no response, turns on the light, realizes he's bleeding. They call the police. At some point, he says, I killed daddy. And then the police also overheard him telling his mom that he had killed his dad. And then when they had asked him, I'm going to pull the article, actually.
Yeah, let's read the article.
There was a really...
It was a really good article. You read it to me.
Yeah.
It helped me sort of understand what this was a little bit. This is very sad.
He told the police he had a good day with his parents. When his dad told him he needed to go to bed, he got angry. And when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he said, quote, he was mad and he had not thought about that. This is from WGAL. They're a local news source, and they got more
did some
documents.
research.
So in other words, it seems like he doesn't understand consequences. Like he didn't realize he wasn't thinking, or
yeah, like to me, it seems like he didn't think what happens when I do this, which is why it resonated with me, because in my own family, I noticed like my brother growing up never thought next step. It was what's now. There's never any like consequence or any like if I do X, then Y and then Z happens. And so another interesting aspect of this, which I actually want to talk about, is they said he's being held without bail at the local jail.
what?
Perry County Prison. And I mean, I assume he's separated from adults, but there's something about it that doesn't sit right with me with an 11-year-old being in a prison. It's very clear he had mental health issues. And now he's sitting in a prison. No matter what way you slice it, this family's destroyed.
Yeah.
And he's being denied bail, and he was charged with criminal homicide, which in Pennsylvania, where he lives, after the age of 10, they're charged as adults. So he's also being charged as an adult. His lawyers can argue to charge him as a juvenile, but I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack, but it's like I just can't stop thinking about it.
And what is it that you can't stop thinking about the most?
Yeah, I think
Lauren!
just how there was a
Hey,
lot of
Robert.
factors. I called my parents today talking about it, and I was like, not that I ever thought that this would be our family, right? But like when I talked about it to my dad's like, I guess I never really thought about it that way. Like we had a lot of struggles with violence. My parents were trying to get help. The lack of resources is insane. And just how, I guess I just couldn't stop thinking about how easily these situations can happen. And just how scary it is. And so I actually called my brother. Luckily, he's doing better than he was as a child. And I asked him if I could talk about some of his struggles growing up, and he was okay with it. And my parents were okay with it. I actually checked with my entire family, just because family's family. I just wanted to get everybody's approval and consent.
Is that better?
Yeah. So my brother, I'll say, was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and then ODD, which is oppositional defiance disorder. Defiant. I don't know which one. And then he was diagnosed with ADHD, and then had severe anxiety. And my
I have her sped up a
sister,
little
one of my
bit.
sisters, had ASD. Although hers, back then they called it Asperger's.
Yeah.
I don't think they call it that anymore.
No.
Hers was more socially geared. She struggled socially, and then she had ADHD as well.
Autism and
So,
ODD.
yeah,
Got it.
mental health has definitely been rampant in my family my whole life, but just seeing how fast this can happen, and then just really reading the letter from the school district is what angered me the most, because I just kept thinking about my own family and the struggles my parents went through to get help. Like, I think my brother's hospitalization started when I was in 2nd grade and he was in 3rd grade, so we were young.
What did the letter say?
Let's read it.
So this is a letter. When is it? And to who?
This letter
from?
was from Douglas and Jillian Dietz, so they're Clayton's parents.
Okay.
It was dated October 9th of 2025 to the Susquehanna, I think that's how you pronounce it, School District. Attention, Director of Special Education.
Oh, it gets worse, guys. This is nothing.
And then
this
the subject is formal
nothing.
demand for referral to Yellow Breaches Educational Center and notice of liability. So, and then it says, Dear Miss Bress and the school district administration,
ADHD.
we are writing to formally demand that our son Clayton Dietz be referred to the Yellow Breaches Educational Center for specialized behavioral and educational support. Clayton is a 10-year-old child diagnosed with autism who has exhibited increasingly concerning behaviors, including sexual harassment, physical aggression, and theft. These behaviors have been documented and reported by school staff, yet the district continues to deny our repeated requests for referral to a behavioral school equipped to address his needs. We have made multiple attempts to engage with the district in good faith, and they list dates. On May 29th, 2025, Clayton blank is redacted. In June 2025, he blank redacted. On October 8th, 2025, so a day before this letter, he blank redacted. Bress on July 27th, 2025, and again on September. We spoke with Miss Deaton and Bress on July 27th, 2025, and again on September 16th, 2025 with Lynn Cobb, Miss Mary, Miss Bress, and Kelly Smiley. On October 9th,
She's
so
really
the day this was
excited.
written,
I'm slowing
we
her
were
down
told
to
the district must, quote, work within the confines of law. Despite these incidents,
Okay, I slowed her down to normal speed because I think she's really excited about this story.
and our proactive efforts, we have been repeatedly informed that Clayton, quote, does not meet the criteria for referral. This response raises serious concerns about the district's documentation practices and its commitment to student safety and appropriate intervention. Let us be clear, we are actively and responsibly seeking preventative measures to support our child and protect other students. In the current societal climate, overlooking such efforts is not only negligent, it is dangerous. Therefore, we hereby notice this blank school district, I have a hard time saying it, that
Hey,
any
Jessica.
continued refusal to refer Clayton to the Yellow Breaches Educational Center will be interpreted as a willful disregard for his behavior needs and the safety of others. Should Clayton engage in further criminal or harmful behavior, Douglas Dietz, Jillian Dietz, and Clayton Dietz shall not be held legally responsible. The liability will rest solely with this school district for its failure to act on documented concerns and parental requests. Furthermore, your continued refusal to take appropriate action potentially
She's
constitutes
into
a
it, man.
violation of blank code,
Hey,
which
Maria.
defines child abuse, and blank code, which addresses endangering the welfare of children under Pennsylvania Criminal Code. Should Clayton's behavior escalate due to lack of appropriate intervention, the district may be held criminally liable for its inaction. We urge you to reconsider your position immediately and initiate the referral process. Please confirm receipt of this letter and provide a written response within 10 business days. Sincerely, Douglas Dietz and Jillian Dietz. I mean, it clearly sounds like they had an attorney helping them write it.
Yeah.
With the civil codes. But yeah, I was just thinking, luckily in my own family, my parents were able to afford sending my brother to specialized school. It got to a level when he was maybe 12 or 13 that they had to do that. But what about these parents that can't, right? They don't get the resources. And so I kind of wanted to talk about that. And then also just, I guess I'm just like kind of shocked at how fast it escalated. It's clear there was a pattern of escalation over time. But I just kind of wanted to get John's thoughts on everything.
Yeah. And before we jump to John too, so I want to ask, so he went to the gun safe, not even thinking the gun was in there, that the Nintendo Switch was in there.
That's
right?
what it sounds like. But
You don't
he
know?
did also say that he had somebody in mind to shoot. So
John's
there is
just
this
sitting
level
there.
of like,
Maybe he wanted to shoot someone.
yeah, or was there like, I mean, we don't know, right? Was there a premeditative aspect or was it heat of the moment? Like I know for
Right, a moment.
like for my brother, everything was black and white. It's right then and there. This is what he thinks. This is what he does. There's no.
Impulsive and now.
It's exactly that's the word, impulsive. So I guess so that kind of was like.
Hey guys, if you're just joining, we are listening to the latest Patreon audio only with Grayson, John, and Lauren. And we're also playing La Jingo. The G's silent because we'd like her to be. And Grayson has given us all kinds of inside scoop on her family's medical history.
Like maybe this wasn't as impulsive, but then the way the article reads with the court documents, it sounds like he didn't maybe think that there was a gun in the safe. He was just looking for his Nintendo Switch and thought that's where it was. And so I don't really know.
Yeah.
I also want to add, I've been looking, I don't think they had any other kids, so I just think it's very sad for Jillian. She just lost her husband.
And her
She
son.
clearly just lost her son.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to come out of this.
Yeah. Very sad. And I want to ask you more too, a little bit later, how it affected you. You know, how this affected your growing up.
Yeah.
See, why
older brother.
would Lauren, as her boss, want to put this out in her podcast? This is so weird. Like, I want to know more. How it affected you personally. Like, give us the nitty gritty, Grayson. So people can use it against you.
The youngest.
Yes.
So everybody's older. You know, how this affected your growing up.
Yeah.
He was your older brother. You're the youngest.
Yes.
So everybody's older. You have anything to say, or do you want Grayson to maybe chat about?
Well, I'm not sure. I think you guys are still
Processing?
Where do you want me to jump in? I mean, I think
Oh, listen to him. He's like, oh, you guys are still just talking shit. You didn't even introduce me. So awkward, man. Everything about these people.
Yeah.
He was your older brother. You're the youngest.
Yes.
So everybody's older.
Grayson went to John, she said, and said, we need to talk about this case.
You have anything to say, or do you want Grayson to maybe chat about?
Well, I'm
so
not
too.
sure. I think you guys are still
Processing?
Where do you want me to jump in? I mean, I think first of all, let's talk about what autism is. I think that's important. I'm just going to read. This is from a recent article, 2020. The title of this, it's a research article from the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders, 2021. The title of this is Young Adults with Autism Spectrum Disorder in the Criminal Justice System. I'm just going to read the opening paragraph. Significant media attention has been drawn to the intersection of autism spectrum disorder and criminal behaviors, but relatively little empirical data is available that describes individuals with autism spectrum disorders' involvement in the criminal justice system.
Lucy, no, he doesn't.
There are concerns that individuals with autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, may be at greater risk for criminal justice system involvement due to ASD-related characteristics, such as difficulties understanding social cues and the emotional states of others, problems with change in routines and transitions, rigid thinking, restricted interests, and poor emotional regulation. So there's a lot, right? That paragraph, I think, is really important to start this discussion because I've been hesitant to weigh in on this topic until now because we get so many people writing us saying, hey, can you talk about autism? There's been so many high-profile cases recently
you to do that
have implicated autism in criminality and murder.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm getting mad. Now he's equating autism and criminality. This is very dangerous territory. Jim Cox, he says, I'm going to sue Jay if she keeps using John and his tongue sticking out in thumbnails. I'm getting PTSDism. Well, this one's for you, my friend. That tongue is like subhuman. Or not subhuman, but like, I don't know what you'd call it. Like, not human. Ugh. All right, let's keep going.
Murder specifically, right? And so we get so many questions about that, right? And I've really been a little hesitant to weigh in because it's complicated.
Correct.
But tonight on this, I want to kind of clarify some of the research and some of the issues around this. And I think actually Grayson's brother is going to give us a very interesting and useful platform to discuss this, because his diagnoses are precisely relevant to the research on this, and a very interesting and useful platform to discuss this, because his diagnoses are precisely relevant.
Wow, John, this is crazy. No, her brother's not coming on. She's going to just talk about her brother. Oh, no. Oh, no.
To the research on this, and they'll actually help us. The research will help us understand a lot more about how autism might relate to your brother's issues around violence, right? So,
Violence?
but let's back up a little bit, and for those listeners who don't know what autism is or know little about it, let's talk a little bit about what it is.
Help me.
Autism is basically there's two main components of autism. The first is this is according to the
Whoop, whoop. Staff contractor number 1 just entered Cooterville. Everybody give her a warm welcome. Thank you for joining tonight, Steph. And it is wonderful to see you here in Cooterville.
She says, welcome to Cooterville. Everybody close your legs. Everybody coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs.
DSM, DSM-5, TR, temporary revision. The first main component is persistent deficits in
Is Lauren making pizza rolls back there? What's she doing?
DSM-5, TR, temporary revision. The first main component is persistent deficits in social communication and interaction across multiple contexts. So you could have deficits in social communication in specific contexts, right? Like maybe someone is afraid of interacting in a school classroom, but then at home they're fine.
Right.
So it has to be across context, where in other words, the situation is not dictating the behavior. It has to be consistent, right? And that this is true, by the way, of personality disorders. With personality disorders, situations can shape certain things, but for the most part, if you're a psychopath, you're going to be a psychopath everywhere. You're going to be a psychopath at the grocery store. You're going to be a psychopath at work, right? It's the same thing with shape certain things, but for the most part, if you're a psychopath, you're going to be a psychopath everywhere. You're going to be a psychopath at the grocery store.
That was totally an edit. Terrible, terrible. Anna, Bobana, Fee, Fi, Fomana, Anna, Bob, Nana. Thank you for becoming a cooter. Come on in and close your legs, girl.
She says, welcome to Cooterville. Everybody close your legs. Everybody coming in, close your legs.
Close your legs.
Shelly Bean, thank you for your super chat. Violence might stem from ODD, not autism. Yes. Yes. Is he putting psychopathic next to being autistic? He's horrible. He's horrible. We got psychopathy on the board. Where is it? Down here. All right, let's keep going.
Or you're going to be a psychopath at work, right? It's the same thing with autism.
Gross, man.
Not that they're psychopaths, but that they're issues with store. You're going to be a psychopath at work, right? It's the same thing with autism. Not that they're psychopaths, but that their issues with deficits in social communication are constant across context. The second element of autism is restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, and activities. So in other words, a child, for example, that's playing with a toy with autism is less likely to involve in what we call symbolic play. In other words, they're less likely to use a toy and see it in the context of a larger play theme they're developing. And they're more likely to focus on a very specific element of that toy, like an arm or a leg, right? And they're going to use that specific detail to drive their play.
Help a brother out here.
Rather than the larger theme that a child with autism might develop. In other words, it's the rigidity that they have trouble seeing play as part of a larger imaginative canvas.
Right.
And so
shut up.
And so that's just in general, that's kind of how autism gets defined. The other important thing is it occurs on a spectrum. So you mentioned this, Grayson, but the important thing is that there's different levels of functioning with autism. So the level 1 would be, so we used to use the term Asperger's to describe essentially a version of autism, but with children that have more language skills, and they might have above average intelligence. And so in other words, they're high functioning. And so level 1 would be kind of typical of Asperger's. Level 2 is that they require substantial support.
God.
And level 3 would be somebody with autism on the autism spectrum. They require very substantial support. So those are the kids and later adults.
He's saying there's only 3 segments of autism? Dude, he is spreading total misinformation. Thank you, Pines, for the 5 cooterships. If you received a cootership from the lovely OVG in the Pines, make sure you give her a shout out and say thanks. Thank you for your support tonight.
That struggle with language. They struggle with very limited social interaction. They can't make eye contact, right? They can't read any social situations. So I think those are 2 things that are important to understand about autism is we're not talking about one thing. We're not talking about a discrete
Why are you even talking about autism? Why are you even talking about autism? The kid shot his dad. We don't know if he has autism. It doesn't matter. Autism doesn't make people violent. Stop it. Stop it right now. John. I think people are going to be reporting your ass.
A spectrum of varying degrees of functioning, different levels of functioning. But the characteristics of autism are, generally speaking, the deficits in social communication and the restricted repetitive patterns of behavior. Those are the 2 things that define it. And for this discussion, this is probably the most important thing. And that is that autism is a neurologically based diagnosis. In other words, autism is seen as something that primarily involves the brain, right, and neurological issues, rather than personality-based issues. So I think when we talk about crime and people say, oh, Brian Koberger has autism, the autism, played a massive role in the murders, right?
Oh, God. What? Who says his autism played a major role in the murders? Certainly not I, said the fly. Put a 1 in chat if you ever heard Brian Koberger's autism as a major motive for the Idaho 4 murders. This guy, oh my God. Stop it. Only the pro-burgers brought that shit up. And his family. The pro-burgers that think he's innocent. And I never heard autism blamed on the Idaho 4 murders. Stop it. You are a danger to society.
So I think when we talk about crime and people say, oh, Brian Koberger has autism, the autism, played a massive role in the...
He didn't have a defense. It never went to trial. He pled guilty. Stop.
Murders, right? What people are not getting with that is that autism isn't really about personality. It's about specific neurological responses to neurological behaviors that originate from a genetic and biological basis, typically in the brain. So we know that kids with autism, for example, the cerebellum, which affects like balance, and the cerebrum, which is the cerebral cortex, right? It affects executive functioning and decision making. And then the amygdala, which affects emotions. All of those are affected.
Hey, Shauna.
All of those brain imaging studies have shown that those components of the brain are all affected by autism, making it therefore more of a brain neurological disorder than a personality disorder. And that's important to understand because when we talk about murder, a lot of times I think there's confusion over that difference. Mm-hmm. That
last night.
that people want to see autism as more of a personality disorder when in fact it's not. It's something it's more specific than that.
Neurological.
Right, neurologically based. So
in other words, I could be wrong. No, I just
yeah.
personality disorder, I think, would be more nature versus nurture combined.
Really,
correct?
Grayson?
Yeah.
And then
right.
autism is just nature, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
a good way to
Yeah,
also
that's
explain
a good right. That's a good interpretation. One of the so one of the things that, for example, I mean, autism isn't super well understood in terms of the origins of it,
Right.
but we definitely know there's more of a genetic component because siblings, if you happen to have siblings with autism, the risk of autism, to have more siblings with autism, goes up dramatically, like 50%, and then the risk of passing that on goes up dramatically too. So in other words, and this is true in twin studies too. So in other words, there's a heritable, meaning there's a heritability issue, meaning that the gene for autism clearly shows up in families, essentially in families with autism. And it seemingly gets passed on, and then that gene obviously influences brain development.
He's a specialist in family and marital counseling. Period.
Development and biology, right? That's where that comes into play. But also,
All right, we're going to have to check off John makes the diagnosis. He is way too far with this one.
one of the things that seems to be the case is the prenatal environment has a tremendous influence on brain development. And so one of the things that research is beginning to find is that a prenatal development or environment where there's a tremendous amount of stress and poor nutrition, right? When there's a lot of elements that are negative for prenatal development,
What?
it seems to be the case that that's having a major impact on potentially on the fetus and brain development in the fetus. And then the other thing that's interesting about the current research is that they're finding some connection. None of these are like completely connected, but they're finding some connection between the microbiota gut-brain axis. That's what it's called. In other words, right, the connection between a healthy intestinal environment versus one that's not. And all of that, by the way, is also influenced by the prenatal environment and stressors in the environment. So it's not purely genetic and biological. There's obviously, and we're going to talk about, by the way, family culture and how that can impact autism too. But there's all these factors that kind of come into play in terms of their potential impact on autism. So that's kind of, it's a little background on autism. I'll just jump right into, and this is something completely related to your situation, your brother, Grayson. So probably the most important study on autism in recent years is from the Journal of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry from 2017. The title of this article is Autism and Convictions for Violent Crimes, Population-Based Cohort Study in Sweden. So this is a very large study, cohort-based study, population.
I'm sorry, I have to break the monotony because Sean is so funny. I don't watch content creators who don't show their faces, let alone pay to listen to them. So sus, and a big fuck you to their Patreons. I bet they're sitting around a Ouija board in their undies. Did we get inappropriate laughter? Did I miss that? I think we already marked that one. We did.
Study from Sweden that has...
Sweden?
It looked at a sample of 295,730 population study from Sweden that has it looked at a sample of 295,734 individuals, of which 5,000
345,672 individuals. What is he talking about? Did we miss IQ for the first bajingo? He did talk about intellectual levels, didn't he? That'll give us our first Balingo with the tongue. Balingo of the night. And we got that with cucumbers, IQ, ODD, and awkward moment.
1,739 had an autism diagnosis. So you have a really large sample. They look closely at this cohort, and here's their main finding.
Okay.
Listen to those
I'm going to
papers.
quote this here. Quote, in this large population-based study, a higher proportion of individuals with autism, particularly those without ID, which means intellectual disability, a higher proportion of individuals with autism had been convicted of a violent crime by the maximum age of 27 years than those without autism. So initially, when they looked at this data, they were starting to see that they thought there was a relationship between autism and violent crime.
Okay, interesting.
But here's the caveat.
Okay, yeah,
But, and I'll continue to read here, quote, however, co-occurring ADHD and conduct disorder largely explain this increased risk.
Interesting.
These conditions, meaning ADHD and conduct disorder, along with other later onset psychiatric disorders, specifically psychosis, and alcohol and drug misuse, meaning substance abuse, were the most important individual predictors of violent criminality and autism. So in other words...
It's not autism.
Right. So we just talked about Nick Reiner and schizophrenia, that in many ways, schizophrenia is not the cause of violence. It's substance abuse and psychopathy, right?
Yeah, right.
And with autism, with autism, you have a very similar finding, which is that when you're younger, that the factors that influence risk are ADHD, which your brother had, and conduct disorder, which conduct disorder, so your brother had oppositional defiant disorder, which is the precursor to conduct disorder. So you don't diagnose conduct disorder typically until, you typically diagnose it. Well, let me take that.
Conduct disorder the same as bipolar, or is that different?
No, they're different. So conduct disorder,
Conduct disorder, does it mean they're bipolar or is it something different? I can't believe she's doing this about not even herself, her fucking brother.
oppositional defiant disorder would be, let's think of oppositional defiant disorder would be a lesser version of conduct disorder.
Okay.
Conduct disorder would be the precursor to antisocial personality disorder,
Okay.
which then antisocial personality disorder, it can be closely aligned with psychopathy, right? So think of those along a continuum. You've got ODD, which your brother had, conduct disorder, antisocial personality disorder for adults, psychopathy. Those are all related. So, in other words, this study essentially found exactly what you said about your brother. Like,
He's like this
the
little
autism
pussy.
wasn't the thing that necessarily that led to your brother's violence, right? It was more the ADHD because of probably the ADHD with impulsivity, and then ODD. The ODD was more of a personality variable.
Yeah, and I will add, my brother's situation, he was diagnosed really late with autism.
Okay.
Like, maybe he was like 12 or 13 when they finally got the autism diagnosis, but like, he'd already been diagnosed with ODD and, was already, he'd been in speech, since he was really young. Even now, at like 26, he still struggles with speech.
Okay.
And not a lot, but, like he has a lisp. And, but he was.
Why is she doing this to her brother? For what? What is happening? So he's reading all about autism, okay? The kid that killed his dad, we don't even know if the kid had autism, number one. So they're bringing all this in. Now she's bringing her brother and his diagnoses and all this stuff about her brother.
Diagnosed really late, but so yeah, I don't know. I just was thinking about that. It was a very late diagnosis.
So in other words, the other things were more clear.
The other things were more clear. They were diagnosed a lot earlier. My parents did combination of not remedies, treatments, I guess. He did therapy, and they worked with social workers through like the county mental health services, and he was on medication.
We got therapy on the board. Holy shit.
And so they were kind of like mixing everything, trying to figure out what to do. And I also want to point out, as he's gotten older, the violence has decreased significantly. Significantly. But I think that's also just him. I always felt like maybe his mental age was like 6 years behind normal. Mm-hmm. So like even when I talk to him now, it's like if I was talking to a younger sibling, not necessarily my older brother. Like he'll call me to talk about a situation. I'm like, well, why don't you just do this? And so it's like it's still like walking him through things.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's interesting.
TMI.
That violence has decreased as he's gotten older.
And I also don't know that he ever did get like a conduct disorder diagnosis. Well, I mean, once you're 18, it's kind of you're on your own in the system. Like, my parents could only do so much.
Right.
So they couldn't like force him to go to a doctor to get more diagnoses or,
Yeah, it's not there.
Medication or whatever they can encourage, but he does ultimately what he feels is best for himself, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, just to summarize kind of what this study I referenced, they basically say, I'll just quote this here, again, the comorbidities here are ADHD and conduct disorder. And again, conduct disorder is closely aligned with oppositional defiant. I mean, the biggest distinction is the conduct disorder involves more actual potentially more actual criminal behavior or criminal convictions. Okay. Whereas ODD is a little lesser in terms of requiring fewer run-ins with the law, for example, or fewer actual problematic behaviors. But they say, quote, in the absence of these comorbidities, individuals...
Maria, that's a really good point. What about John or Lauren's brothers? Let's talk about your brothers. She's willingly doing this, though. Bringing up a murder case and talking about her brother.
Individuals with autism were no more likely to have convictions for violent offending than the general population.
Okay.
So, again, like making the distinction between autism as a neurologically based disorder and a personality disorder is really important because ODD becomes potentially and conduct disorder become precursors to more personality based issues.
Right. So bringing it back to Clayton a little bit, I guess my question would be, so it wouldn't necessarily...
She just said his name. Oh my God. Why are they doing this? No, literally, like, why are they doing this? Is this a tactic to separate Grayson from her family? Like, is this a tactic where Grayson's family is unaware of this and they're going to get mad and they're not going to talk to her no more? I don't know what's going on here. This is bizarre. We got the name drop for another Lajingo. She said she got permission, but these people lie. They lie, and they lie,
Be the autism, right?
No.
I think there's probably, if he was adopted at 3, I don't want to speculate too much, but I would assume there's some attachment going on.
Oh, okay, moments. Thank you.
Clearly his parents, from the outside looking in, loved him very much and did everything they could, but I'd assume it's probably some attachment. And then when you were talking about autism, your definition, you mentioned a change in routine. And it made me think of how they said that they had stayed up till midnight to sing to him that night. And so could that change of routine, let's say that kid went to bed at 8 o'clock every night. I don't know. Could a change in routine like that have kind of set him off a little bit?
Well, even taking away his Nintendo Switch.
Right. things like that. But like, could that all combined be what caused?
Yeah, with the violent tendencies and ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if he had ADHD.
Yeah, we don't know, right? It does
They
sound
say
like
You don't know anything. What are they doing? Kel says they literally make everything about themselves. Delusional. I agree. Thank you for your super chat.
The letter to the school district simply cites autism.
And it says autism, but also cites behavioral issues.
Yeah,
It says sexual harassment,
Physical
violence,
and theft.
which are not. Yeah. That's,
I mean,
Yeah.
Right. That's I mean, so
Yeah.
that's starting to definitely move into the terrain of oppositional defiant disorder for sure.
The terrain?
Or even conduct disorder at some point.
The terrain?
Yeah. I mean, again, like, yes, could there disruption of
Well,
between matter?
you know what? Good point, G. Lander. Thank you for your $10 super chat. How could someone with severe autism truly give consent? Good point. She's saying, too, that he's like way like under his years or whatever. You know what I mean? Like he's not emotionally mature up to his actual age. But they do. They correlate everything into their own lives. It's like they sit in this little cave and manifest everything into themselves. I imagine their room is humid from all the hot air. For sure. There's lots of condensation on the windows.
Or yeah, because it depends too what level he is on the spectrum. But disrupting a routine. I mean, one of at the higher levels of autism on the spectrum, when you disrupt that restricted, repetitive pattern behavior, I think the more potential problems you're going to have. And by the way, there's a interesting hypothesis called the dysregulation aggression hypothesis about.
Oh, shut up. And Lisa T has a good hypothesis. She says Lauren is teaching her how to include yourself into stories that have nothing to do with you for sympathy and clicks. I agree, Lisa. It's like this kind of type of grooming. Thank you for your super chat. And Boss Lady coming in hot with 5 cooter ships. Robbie, VTW, Blucky, Remy, and Bright Penny. Welcome to Cooterville. Come on in and enjoy the show. She slurred. I'm sure she'll slur again.
Autism, which essentially says, so as long as we're talking about kind of disrupting routines, the dysregulation aggression hypothesis basically says that aggression becomes more likely when there's a failure to regulate arousal levels under increasing amounts of stress. So in other words, dysregulation.
Okay. We got arousal on the board. Blech, blech, blech.
Think of dysregulation as when you can't regulate emotion,
good idea,
you can't
Kels.
regulate stress, right? So the opposite of that would be a child that has the capacity a child who can regulate emotions and stress and arousal would be a child that's capable of self-soothing, right? A child that can't self-soothe
girl.
is more likely to become.
Why does he keep saying arousal? Dee. Why? Why does everything go this way every time?
Agitated. They're more likely to become aggressive, right? They're more likely to escalate their behaviors. And so it's the arousal. It's actually, and this is true in schizophrenia too, that the stress levels in the family and in the home, and this has to do with routine, right? If you disrupt the routine, the child becomes more aroused and agitated. And if the child can't self-soothe, there's more probability that child's going to act out.
Right.
And so this is the
arousal?
connection between autism and the home environment. In fact, I'm gonna read.
I agree.
From
Bad
another
puns. What is their
important study
end goal?
that's fairly recent. This is from.
He's reading an important study that's fairly recent. Thank you, Flobo. Flobo says maybe dipshit John should talk about puberty and autism. Dumbass. Preteen years, everything changes. He's really gross. But we got John's study. Another Lajingo this Friday night.
2018. This is from the journal Aggression and Violent Behavior. The title of this article is Violent Behavior in Autism Spectrum Disorders, Who's at Risk? So this is another important study in this arena. They found a similar conclusion, by the way, that autism is not the cause of violence.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's what they say.
What was that noise?
We conclude that autism is not the cause of violence.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's what they say.
What was that noise? Is that a demon trying to come out of John? Did you guys hear that? If you have earbuds, listen close. Did you hear that demon?
The way that autism is not the cause of violence.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's what they say. We conclude that on the whole, the research studies they reviewed lend support to the assertion that autism spectrum disorder does not cause violence and indicate that when violent behavior does occur in people with ASD, it is the result of third variables, including poor parental control, family environment, criminality, bullying, or psychiatric comorbidity, including specifically psychosis. So there is an element here of nurture. There is an element here of parenting, and I'm going to read their findings here just quickly. But it's not related to the autism per se. It's more related to the family culture. In other words, if the family culture is more chaotic and more stressful, and parenting practices are more authoritarian, and parenting practices are more disciplinarian based.
Hey, Teresa.
The problem with that is you're not going to help that child self-soothe, right? It's so. Again, and the dysregulation aggression hypothesis is not proven. It's backed up by some empirical support, but it's still a theory. So, but
you're what the friends
there is research,
call
however, and this article I just mentioned supports it. I'm going to read what they say here.
You were looking wide-eyed at the authoritarian.
Wait, check. I love my parents, but check. It was very authoritarian.
And now you're at a place where we're very authoritarian, right, Grayson? We're like, now.
Super, yeah. Every single day. Joke. Yeah. No, every single day you told me, if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything.
I do. I say that. You have a great work ethic. And I was like, stop working. You don't need to work. No one's making you work. Oh, I love work. You do love to work. And Lily loves to sleep. It's a great pair.
Yeah.
This is so awkward, dude. You're looking wide-eyed at the authoritarian. Ooh, that was really uncomfortable. Hey, Diet Coke.
We need a little bit of both of you around here.
Yeah.
This is from last night. Welcome in. Listen to that again.
And now you're at a place where we're very authoritarian, right, Grayson? We're like, now.
Super, yeah. Every single day.
At the authoritarian.
Wait, check.
And this article I just mentioned supports it. I'm going to read what they say here.
You were looking wide-eyed at the authoritarian.
Wait, check. I love my parents, but check. It was very authoritarian.
Talking about her family. Ugh.
And now you're at a place where we're very authoritarian, right, Grayson? We're like, now.
Super, yeah. Every single day.
Joke.
Yeah. No, every single day you told me, if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything.
I do. I say that. You have a great work ethic. And I was like, stop working.
Thanks,
you don't need to
Diet
work.
Coke.
No one's making you work. Oh, I love work. You do love to work.
So
and Lily loves to sleep. It's a great pair.
Yeah.
He's like, so can I finish? Let's call that John interrupted. What do you think? Yikes.
We need a little bit of both of you around here.
Yeah.
Oh, he said, again. Did you hear that? That was twice he tried to butt in. Let's see.
So anyway.
One drives the stress and one takes the stress down.
Oh, it took 3 times for him to get in the middle of Grayson and Lauren. Did you hear that? He's like, that's funny.
No, every single day you told me, if you don't want to do anything, you don't have to do anything.
I do. I say that. You have a great work ethic. And I was like, stop working. You don't need to work. No one's making you work. Oh, I love work. You do love to work. And Lily loves to sleep. It's a great pair.
Yeah.
We need a little bit of both of you around here.
So anyway,
One drives the stress and one takes the stress down.
I don't know if I should comment on any of that, but quote, poor parental control,
I'm
a chaotic
very
home environment,
uncomfortable sitting
for example,
here.
characterized by permissive and authoritarian parenting styles, highly critical, disapproving, rejecting, or unstable parenting styles, a family history of mental health problems, for example, depression and or psychosis, parental divorce, physical or sexual abuse, and criminality are all factors that increase the violence risk for
Criminality
autism spectrum.
increases
In addition
risk.
to,
What does that even
so this
mean?
that's the family
make
environment,
sense.
right? Outside of the family, for example, in school or in the community, the following elements would also increase autism risk because you're not helping the child self-regulate, right? Those would include social rejection, victimization, including especially bullying,
Yep.
holding a grudge, and seeking revenge may also play important contributory roles and precipitate criminal offending in individuals with autism spectrum.
I completely agree with Mom Interrupted. She says, and thank you for your super chat. She says they're doing what they always do, triangulating people against their support systems and safety nets. This is beyond bizarre. It really is. I just don't know why. I know that we know John's like not professional like he says he is, but if he's still trying to work this, theory that he's this professional, how professional is it to have the producer of your podcast on your paid Patreon talking about not her own diagnosis, but her brother's? I mean, yikes. He thinks this is okay? Like, it boggles my brain. And she's like, oh, I went home like the other day, I don't know the last time I went home. Right. That's what I'm saying, a wise woman. Did G really start it, or was the idea planted? I'm sure she shared her entire life from beginning to end with Lauren Matthias. And I think Lauren Matthias is pulling things from her past to exploit her and put out there so that she has a target on her back and Lauren gets less of a target on her back. This makes Grayson vulnerable. Why would Lauren, with everything going on, with everything they've been through, they're so scared, but she's going to let Grayson put this personal, private information out for the world. But she's going to make Gray think, oh, well, I'm protected because it's in Patreon. It was in Patreon. It was not meant for the public, is what they'll say. I'm sorry. Patreons are never private. Nothing's private. Discord's not private. Patreons aren't private. Nothing online is ever private. You may have more, of a barrier in privacy behind a paywall, but it's not ever private. All right. So you guys said that he said schizophrenia. Let's give another jingo then for there. And we're going to leave the family tree one open because I think that one gets a little more precise. Right. She thinks Facebook Messenger is private. Nothing's private, dude. It's just not.
Disorder. So a child, it's not hard to imagine, for example, that a child that's rejected by his or her peers and a child that's bullied is going to experience more stress, and they're going to have trouble regulating that. They're going to experience dysregulation, and they won't be able to self-soothe. Mm-hmm. And so aggression becomes more probable in those circumstances.
Which in general, I think they're just at a higher risk for rejection and bullying if they are on the spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
simply because they're seen as different,
They're different.
or they're seen as not, they don't do what everybody else does, or they don't listen, or whatever it is. I think they're just at a higher risk in general.
Targeted in general for bullying and high risk. Is yeah.
Right. So even though autism is mainly neurologically based, there are indirect pathways. Exactly. That a child with autism that's unable to establish those emotional connections or has more trouble doing that is obviously going to have more trouble being accepted by peers.
Right.
And so they're more likely to be ostracized by peers. And if for example, a child with autism has certain repetitive patterns of behavior that
it gets better, you guys,
odd, then that child is more likely to be bullied for it.
Yeah.
So it all, like, where does it all begin? Right, it all kind of
Goes together.
fits in a vicious circle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there are indirect pathways. I mean, by definition, in some cases, autism originates from a child struggling to, like, a lot of kids, especially with severe autism that are higher up on the spectrum, they can't make eye contact with their caregiver.
Right.
And they can't. There's this lack of reciprocal interaction.
Sorry, I know that's not where you're going, but I also just want, they're also at high risk for being abused, even in a system that's supposed to protect them. They can go to a specialized school. I don't know, just people can abuse higher
Shut up, Lauren.
children. You know, they become victims of abuse.
Actually, that's a really good point. So ironically, a lot of the research on violence with autism shows that autistic children are more likely to be murdered by their parents. So what Clayton did here, the 11-year-old, is actually kind of the opposite of what autistic children are more likely to be murdered by their parents.
Oh my God, you guys. This guy is not okay. This guy's not right. He's not okay. Put a 1 in chat if you think this guy is actually dangerous, like on a serious level.
Ironically, a lot of the research on violence with autism shows that autistic children are more likely to be murdered by their parents. So what Clayton did here, the 11-year-old, is actually kind of the opposite of what...
Right.
Horrible.
Most violence with autism is not from the child, it's from the parent who's frustrated with the child.
That would make sense.
And so you believe it or not, there are a decent number of homicides from parents that, for whatever reason, that they can't regulate either, right? That they're kind of the end of their rope with autistic children, and they don't know what to do. I mean, you see here with Clayton's family reaching out to the school district with a plea for help.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was thinking too, even before we were recording, I was kind of like thinking my questions and thinking of my own life and my situation. And my mom and I had a conversation today about it, and my mom was saying, when your siblings were younger, it was so much easier to get help. But
what?
As an autism mom, this entire convo pisses me off. Dr. John Mathias, WebMD.
I'm sorry to all the people in here that have children on the spectrum, or if you're on the spectrum, this is absolutely horrifying. Mom interrupted. Thank you for your super chat. He's a joke. He is a fucking joke. Shirley, the fresh little girlie, sent 5 cooterships. Thank you so much, Shirley. If you were the recipient of Shirley's cootership gifts, make sure you reach out to her in chat and say thanks.
when they get older, it's harder, right? And so when you bring up like parental violence and things like that, it's like, and Clayton's family was like begging for help. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a parent of a child with autism. So for some, I think some parents of autistic children might say it was easier when they were younger, and some might say it was easier when they were older. I think each family situation is different, but the frustration I think parents probably do feel, because there is nowhere to turn when,
right.
Especially if you are dealing with a child with violent tendencies. Most people aren't going to willingly walk in and say, let me take over childcare for you to get a break or thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of partially raised by nannies. My parents worked a lot. They were business owners, and it was hard to.
Here comes the
as
leakage.
my brother got older, for them.
For the nannies.
Yeah, it was very hard as his aggression grew.
Oh my God.
I was very attached to them, and I remember specifically when one left, it was really hard. I still talk to her. Yeah, but she was like, I'm at risk of losing. She had a license for something, and she's like, I'm at risk because he's being aggressive, and like I don't know what to do. And so I think that, as you just say, like parents, these parents lose their cool. There's never an excuse, but I wonder if there's a correlation there of them not getting help. It's clear, like these parents had been trying to get help. Like it's hard.
Well, that's an interesting. Could the system also not want to take a child with some violence because they could lose their license if something happened to teacher or child at school. It's just so sad. It's just so sad there's not more help for these children when good help.
We've got another lingo because she can't speak straight. She can't speak straight. That was so sad.
It's hard.
Well, that's an interesting. Could the system also not want to take a child with some violence because they could lose their license if something happened to teacher or child at school? It's just so sad. It's just so sad there's not more help for these children when good help and a specialized system could help them so much for the rest of their lives. I think the system is,
the system, I think, feels at times somewhat helpless to deal with autism, because there's no clear intervention, right? Like, but the thing is, when you think about autism and violence or aggression, if you realize, so among children, the biggest risk factors for violence would be ADHD and or oppositional defiant, right? But as adults, that changes a little bit, and it becomes the risk factors for adults, surprisingly, are still ADHD, but also psychosis or mental health issues.
What?
Right? So
he's saying that autism and mental health issues go hand in hand? Is that what I heard? This guy is so weird. I've got a new soundbite for John. Here you go. This is for John.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
Thank you, Mom Interrupted, for your $9.99 super chat. John and Lauren really want to adopt an adult child, clearly. Oof.
So, but the point is, they're like, autism there may be limits to what we can do with autism, but we can treat ADHD.
Right.
We can treat psychosis. Right. There's certain way we have ways to intervene with those things, and so in that sense, like, I don't know. The problem here, for me at least, is I don't know exactly what's going on with Clayton. I mean, maybe he probably has ADHD too. Was that diagnosed? Was that treated?
Dude,
like, I think
take it easy, John.
The school district,
take it easy on these
maybe,
diagnoses.
by seeing this as just autism spectrum disorder, is not. I think they're not willing to engage with this child because maybe they don't want the risk, and maybe they recognize the limitations of dealing with autism. I don't know. But on the other hand, they're not giving this kid a chance by not giving him a full evaluation and looking at all the components that I just talked about, right?
Hey, Moms.
Their obligation should be to do a full evaluation, a full neuropsychological evaluation to determine how much of this is autism, how much of it's ADHD, how much of it's behavioral issues, right? Like, it's how much of it is, I don't know, maybe there's some elements of bipolar here. But they're not.
He's thrown psychopathy, whatever. What else has he said? He just said bipolar, autism, violent tendencies. What else did he say?
What?
I mean, what the hell is he doing? Is he trying to get in trouble? I'm wondering here.
He's like this little pussy.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Right. It's so sad.
Yeah, and I guess with I think there's...
It's so sad. You're so slurred.
I've read various comments
conduct disorder, OCD, ODD, ADHD, psychopathy, bipolar, defiance disorder.
People are saying that parents were trying to pass the buck to the school, and I don't think that's the case. I actually think that
They're seeking help.
You're so limited on resources. Like, you have to pay for everything. Like,
Right.
if you don't have the money,
your child has to go to school. You want them to go to school. You want them.
right? You have to have a career, so you can pay for what they need. You have to pay for therapy. You have to pay for doctors' appointments. You have to pay for everything. And so, like,
Dude, Grayson is like in high speed. I do not have them. They're on 1.1 speed. She is like all about this. Thank you, G-Lander, for your super chat. Dr. John has a PhD in word soup. Agreed. I agree with that 100%. But it's dangerous word soup.
the school district, I think they were just reaching out to the school district being like, we need help.
Right.
So I don't think the parents were necessarily passing the buck, but yeah.
I don't either.
I think but that brings me to my point is like, when I read that letter, it's sad because I think that the parents didn't expect them to be the targets of violence. They were so concerned about other people being the target that in there they don't mention themselves. And it's, in the end, his dad ends up being the target of the violence.
Right. I mean, to me, I think they're looking for support.
Right.
Right. Like one of the findings. So, for example,
it's clear they love Clayton. They're not giving up on Clayton. They want the help for Clayton. They want support.
I had mentioned earlier that. So I'm going to reference a study here. This is from the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders 2022. Homicide incidents involving children with autism spectrum disorder, that's the title, as victims reported in the U.S. news media 2000 and developmental disorders. I had mentioned earlier that, so I'm going to reference a study here this is from the Journal of Autism and Developmental Disorders 2022, homicide incidents involving children with autism spectrum disorder, that's the title, as victims reported in the U.S. news media 2000 to 2019. So this study looked at news media accounts.
As reported in the news media. What kind of study is this, John, that you're referencing in such a serious situation? Oh my God, I cannot with him. Listen to this again. This guy is completely incompetent. Completely. That's why he doesn't have a job. You're right.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
With autism spectrum disorder, that's the title, as victims reported in the U.S. news media 2000 to 2019. So this study looked at news media accounts of the children that were victims, and here's what they found. They say, our findings show that family members and caregivers were the most common perpetrators of child homicide with autistic children, with the most frequently cited contributing factor being overwhelming stress from caring for the child. Prior studies have reported that parents of children with autism spectrum disorder experience substantial chronic stress due to the significant demands related to the child's special needs. And so what do they recommend? Support, right? Like, to deal with a child that's creating a lot of stress in the family system, I think it's perfectly expected for that family to seek outside resources because they don't necessarily have the ability to cope.
No.
With a child that's
and early intervention is important with this to teach them. And
I mean, this is like me saying, I am Jennifer Youngblood, PhD. I have my PhD in psychology, and I'm here to tell you tonight that when in a domestic violence situation, when a woman's leaving is the most dangerous time. For real? Fuck is wrong with him?
To help them and to give them the best life possible.
It also brings up the fact is, if this child went through the foster system, where's the resources there?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't they have more resources to them there because he was not a biological child? So therefore, I read something, I don't know if it's true, but it says that there was like DCYF or DCS, whatever, like involvement prior I think some family friends had said that. Like,
So probably foster to adopt.
so probably foster to adopt. So where's the support there? Right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, right, and I mean, there's another component here. Even if the system doesn't necessarily want to intervene with the child, they can still help the parents.
right.
Right? All the things I just mentioned, like a chaotic home environment, unusual stress in the home, right? Parenting style, like if a parenting style is primarily authoritarian, and parents are very critical and disapproving, all the things that I just mentioned,
Yeah.
rejecting, right? If those things are going on in the home, and I wouldn't necessarily
He
blame
is,
the parents.
Kylie.
Like some of it could be a function of the fact that you have a child that you can't rein in, right? But if those things are going on in the home, then help the parents
Right.
understand it and respond differently. And
Yeah.
so that might involve an intervention that would offer the parents classes or some type of educational component or even a therapeutic component
Right.
to help
Good
the parents
job,
manage
Kevin,
their stress
PhD.
and to be, help them become better parents so that they don't know necessarily.
Right.
So I think it's all of those elements.
Yeah, I mean, and look, we don't know a lot about Clayton. We don't know a lot about his situation. I kind of threw it on you. I mean, you can't really give an analysis because we just don't know. But
Right,
in
of
his
this particular
An hour in, you can't really give an analysis because you don't know. But he just gave a huge analysis. Ooh, Tana says it's time for our own round table show. Hidden true crime, where we sit around and try to diagnose what the hell is wrong with these three. Let's do it, Tana. We'd be here for a long time.
case.
right, and so we can kind of talk broadly, but like in a situation like this, this child's going to now move through the criminal justice system, and what like
How's that?
Sue, I totally understand. Thank you for your super chat. She said, love you, Jay, but I have to bail on this one. I have a 24-year-old son with nonverbal autism that I care for 24/7. These guys suck and are clueless. I'm really sorry.
how's that going to help him? But two, how's that going to like? Do they just start doing? Does he now get the full evaluation and everything as he moves through the criminal?
This is
justice?
yesterday.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is that? I assume like you did your psychosexual evaluations. Like, I assume there's going to be some sort of evaluation on his mental competency.
Oh yeah, I mean,
You did your psychosexual evaluations.
well, first of all,
Yeah, what happens? Yeah.
they're gonna have to determine. So you said Pennsylvania law requires in these cases that he automatically is treated like an adult,
Yeah.
right?
So
Which is
an
why,
attorney can argue to bring it to juvenile.
right? So they're gonna have to. That seems to me to be a no-brainer.
Right.
Like they're gonna have to assess.
I'm telling you.
Like, right?
There seems to be no point to this, but when it's going to ramp up. It's going to ramp up, and then it's all going to make sense, and you're going to be like, what in the pure hell just happened? I swear it. It's going to ramp up.
this child's intellectual, disabilities, if they exist, or his intellectual capacity. They're going to have to assess his emotional level, right? His relative, emotional intelligence compared to other kids his age, right? I mean, they're going to have to look at a lot of elements that
Right, Trinity.
that would determine placement in terms of the judicial system. Is like the first question I would want to know is, is this? I mean, you said it earlier. Like, is he even capable of understanding? It seems like he doesn't even understand what he did.
Right.
So is that because of his state of mind at the time of the crime? Is it because of autism? Is it because, right? There's so many issues there. So I think you need to look at that to start assessing whether this child should be treated as, treated by the system as an adult or.
Thank you, Mom. You're never interrupting. Thank you for your super chat. I love hearing your thoughts. So sorry to keep interrupting, but I honestly can't believe what I'm hearing. John could lose his license for this one. It's paid content about a private citizen, and it 100% violates HIPAA. Yeah, it's very mind-blowing that they're doing it. Just wait. Dude, it gets worse. It's like they may even take this shit down. It's so bad.
Or as a juvenile, or even, he's not even a juvenile, as a child. I mean, the number of kids, by the way, that I've worked with that are under 13 that have committed violent crimes or significant crimes is very limited.
Right.
And even, like, I think the youngest child I've ever seen that I've ever evaluated was 9. And, you know, I remember getting the referral. And, you know, the first thing I did is
thank you, Salty.
I called up the DA and I said,
he had a 9-year-old, he says. And he called the DA. Oh my God, this is terrible. They originally started to talk about an 11-year-old who shot his dad because his Nintendo Switch was taken away. All right. The dad allegedly put the Nintendo Switch into his gun lockbox. The kid went and got the key, took the gun instead of the Nintendo, and shot him. They have brought autism, all kinds of diagnosis into this. And Grayson has inserted her family, her brother to be exact. I don't know. I mean, if you go to Patreon, I'm sure you can go to their website and find a place to report it. Thank you, Nada. This is not easy to listen to, but it's very important to show what they're doing because this is really bad.
do I have this age right? Like, this is a 9-year-old. And you want to charge him as an adult? I'm like, what, help me understand what you're thinking here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think sometimes when you have, for example, a 9-year-old, 11-year-old that commits such a violent crime, I think the first impulse is towards accountability. And so, not always, but
Right.
it can be. And I think that creates problems, right? Like, I don't think there's any, I don't know. I need to, I can't really weigh in on this until I know all the details. But
Yeah, we have
Oh my God, you just weighed in for an hour. He is a fool.
very limited.
But it seems like, based on what we know, it seems like it would be, just speculating here, it seems like it would be very hard to put this 11-year-old in the adult system.
Yeah, I
agree.
I wouldn't say I have a problem with him being in an adult. Like, if he's in an adult jail right now, there's an issue.
Oh, I'm livid if that's true.
Like them, like it says,
If he's in an adult jail, I have an issue. Grayson, no one cares about your issues. No one cares what you think.
Clayton was denied bail as being held at the Perry County Prison. Like,
Yeah, what the why is he not in a juvenile center right now?
or even a psychiatric center
Yeah.
where he's being monitored.
Yeah, he's 11.
Like that, think about the stressors in a jail environment. Lights are on, it's loud, people are yelling. I mean, I've never been to jail. I'm just
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Flobo. I think I went to Fat Camp with John. LOL. No, listen to this. Now keep in mind, when this little bitch describes jail, keep in mind, they wanted Christina to go where? They wanted her to go to prison. Prison, not even jail. Prison.
like
Imagine,
right? All the jail shows I watched as a kid. But like, think about all the stress. People are yelling, where he's being monitored.
Yeah, he's 11.
Like that, think about the stressors in a jail environment. Lights are on, it's loud, people are yelling. I mean, I've never been to jail. I'm just like, imagine, right?
Exactly, ballet flats. And they're laughing.
All the jail shows I watched as a kid. But like, think about all the stressors that this poor child is being subjected to. And look, I get it. Some people are going to say, not poor child, he killed his dad. But like, at the end of the day, this is a child. And so we're subjecting them to an adult, what we would do to an adult who does this. Mm-hmm. And so and it's not just like a child who just like killed. Now we have diagnosis there. So like, I don't know. I think of, my own brother and my dad being out of town at one point. And I grew up in a nice area, but unfortunately that area is, if the police are called, usually somebody's going to jail. And my brother was maybe 11, 12,
Oh my God.
and was having an outburst. My dad was out of town. So my dad called the local police and was like, could you go assist my wife? Like, just get him calmed down.
Help him.
De-escalate the situation. My wife is alone with him. Just help de-escalate. And he had, like, hit a door because he was angry, and they charged him.
Charged him with what?
Like
destruction of property?
Something to that effect, domestic something. But it was like they charged him for hitting a door.
But it sounds like they charged him to try to control his behavior, or
Yeah.
his behavior.
Right, but then they didn't just drop it. Like, my parents ended up having to spend thousands of dollars on an attorney, and he went to juvie. My mom had to go get him out the next day, and it was like this whole thing of maybe it was the same day, I don't remember, but it was like this whole thing of all my parents wanted was just some help de-escalating a situation.
Support.
Right. They wanted the police to, they wanted.
My dad was like, I'm across the country, and I just need somebody to de-escalate.
Right.
Because she's alone with him, and he's having an outburst because he's got all these, And so that's and I think ultimately, when things like that happen, that's when kids enter the system, and then they're just in the system.
Right.
So, if this child is entering the system at 11 years old,
will he ever leave the system?
Right, and do they look at this child as, how can we
help him?
How can we help him? How can we rehabilitate him? How can we, I don't know. There's a lot of logistical questions there because it was a murder, but
hey, Dr. Macy.
Is this child just going to be looked at as a lost cause? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's a murder, but did the child understand what he was doing?
There's so many factors to it that
Right. And even if somehow this child is not in the system for years.
Okay, we got another Lajingo with like. This is when it starts to ramp up, guys.
Years and years and years, or let's say forever. How does this impact his relationship with his mother?
Right.
Right, with the surviving parent. Right? I mean, that becomes problematic maybe because presumably she loved her husband, and now this is a different family system. This is a different family system where you have a child who is a murderer, potentially, or alleged murderer.
Yes. Thank you for your super chat. Mabel, did they mention if her family gave consent? She said she spoke to her entire family and her brother before doing this.
Right.
Living with a mother who no longer has the husband she presumably needed and loved. Right? How does that work?
I haven't been talking a lot, and I think this case just makes me sad.
Yeah. It's really sad.
There's no it's just sad. Yeah.
And to make matters worse,
hey,
when you have, it becomes even more complicated by the fact that when you have a child this age committing murder, generally speaking, I don't know the laws in Pennsylvania, but generally speaking, the system demands accountability to a large degree. And if the child is convicted as an adult, then given the changes in certain laws, there's virtually no chance that this child will get a second chance.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the case, but the Supreme Court did change a lot of the laws around. There used to be something called Miller's Law that allowed adolescents that engaged in seriously violent crimes.
Family tree. We're really going to get a real family tree, but I'll give you guys the double bajingo. We only have 2 spots open.
They used to, by law, they were allowed to have hearings in the, I forget the exact timeline, but they were allowed to get a second chance essentially. And the Supreme Court shut that down and basically said, no, states can now essentially lock up juveniles or 11-year-olds forever and throw away the key.
That's horrendous. Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
Hey, Mesera.
And he just turned 11, right? The kid was.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday?
They stayed up till midnight to sing happy birthday, and the police were there at 3:20 in the morning.
So essentially a 10-year-old.
Yeah, he was one day. It was literally his birthday.
Right, he was 10.
I mean, that's. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's so bad. So sad. These types of cases are. I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's so bad. So sad. These types of cases are just so complex.
Yeah. So there's no really clear. We just wanted to
You don't
talk
know
it out, I
anything
guess.
about the
That's actually
case.
also why I think we decided to do this for Patreon. I think we just wanted to have a conversation about it, right? Just with no clear conclusion or ending. We don't know a lot, but just to talk about it, talk it out.
Yeah, I think it was just on my mind a lot today. I was just like, how do you reconcile? How does this family reconcile this, and how, you know what I mean? Like, this is just such a sad, and I think having siblings on the spectrum, I think I just naturally have a lot more like empathy towards those situations.
Oh, absolutely.
Because people really don't understand.
Yeah.
Until you live with somebody who has a diagnosis like that, or whether or not they have a diagnosis. You know what I mean? Like, as a parent, as a sibling, as anybody who lives with somebody who struggles significantly mentally, I think nobody can understand it.
Yeah. And thank you for explaining, though, that autism does not make people violent. That is not what causes it. It's the combination.
Yeah, no, the main finding from
autism does not make people violent. That is not what causes it. It's the combination.
Yeah, no.
Dude, she is chugging the vino.
And thank you for explaining, though, that autism does not make people violent. That is not what causes it. It's the combination.
Yeah, no, the main finding from so far from the research, with at least from the large studies on autism and violence, the main finding is that it's not the autism that's responsible. The autism is a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder does not increase the risk for violence any more than it would in the general population. That's the main finding.
But it could make them more of a victim to violence.
Yeah. But when there is violence, it's typically, as I just talked about, it's typically attributed more to a third variable, such as ADHD.
Do what again?
Oppositional defiant.
Blues, what are you talking about?
Right.
Blues, do what again? Are you behind? Oh, the slur? Dude, she's literally like chugging it.
Substance abuse, kind of the usual suspects that we always talk about.
Right. Yeah.
So which is very similar to what we talked about with schizophrenia, right? I think the research on schizophrenia and violence is not quite as
this is going
strong
to Nick
as
Reiner.
this, though. Like, what we know so far about autism spectrum disorder is there's much less actually of a connection, and so I think it's a little misleading. It's a little misleading.
You're misleading.
Some of this is about the media. In terms of Brian Koberger, right?
Oh, my God.
Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza was said to have autism, right? There's a lot of these high-profile cases where it seems like a lot of people.
Wait a second. Why is he correlating autism with these horrible these horrible individuals who have conducted the worst crimes that we've heard about in our generation? I swear to God, he relates with BK. He does. Blech.
People want to pin this on autism right away.
Who does?
And I think that's misleading. And
no
so
one does but you.
I kind of avoided this because I feel like this is not necessarily a popular opinion to say that autism is not really associated with violence per se any more than somebody in the general population.
What are you talking about?
Because it seems like there's such a drumbeat these days.
Drumbeat
in the true crime community. People want to blame autism for so much.
But if we're pinning it on autism,
wait, what? Who the hell? They just spent an hour and 10 minutes telling us that this kid's autism led to this, and this. And now oh my God, they gaslight the hell out of you. Hang on.
Such a drum.
In the true crime community always blames autism? Who? Show me. Groundswell of people who despise you.
Beat these days. in the true crime community, people want to blame autism for so much.
But if we're pinning it on autism, then I would think that we're almost like grouping.
Oh, did you hear her move across the bed and get closer to the mic? Ew.
Because it seems like there's such a drumbeat these days in the true crime community. People want to blame autism for so much.
But if we're pinning it on autism, then I would think that we're almost like grouping autism as violence, and then you just putting every other child at a disadvantage because they're seen as somebody who could be violent when it's not. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you just did.
That's just what I'm thinking about. If we're saying it's autism,
right?
Like,
what the fuck? I am so confused right now. Just as a little reminder, guys.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors.
If, when the media is doing that and people are doing that, like, you're putting every other child who has autism at a disadvantage, because then...
Andy, welcome back. He says... Andy says, my phone died months back. I'm glad you got it charged, Andy. It's good to see you.
Naturally there becomes a bias formed by like other parents who are like,
I worry about. I think that's why I avoid talking about it. I don't want anyone to think that autism causes
right. Other parents are going to be like, don't hang out with that kid. They have autism. They might be violent. And that's not true.
Autism does not cause violence.
Right.
Right. That's the main.
It actually will often cause violence towards the child with autism.
That's the main finding. And I think I'll just kind of conclude with this thought. I mean, you guys.
Oh, you're going to conclude. Cotton Carolyn. I think that was a great podcast. What podcast? This one? A look into the life of families with challenges. I feel it gave some great inside realities. We got a cooter chat.
These three dummies make everything about themselves. Rolling eyes face emoji.
I agree, Coddle Jamie. 79 with the $5 super cooter chat. Thank you so much. I agree. With dummies and making everything about themselves. It's weird. Thank you for the cooter chat. The cooter chat link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to interrupt for any reason, if you're outraged, you want to tell Lauren and Grayson to F off, you want to tell John, here we got another one, Shar Shar.
Can you let them know that they are no longer part of the true crime community?
Absolutely, Shar Shar. Thank you for your cooter chat. You want to let them know how you feel, send in a cooter chat. It stops me in my tracks.
We can keep talking, but
yeah.
For me, the important, and this would be true of, from what we know of Clayton, like his response to police, right? Mm-hmm. Saying, I don't know what did he say?
Slorin.
He said something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? To police, right? Mm-hmm. Saying, I don't know what did he say? He said something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? Like
when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he
said something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? Like
when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he said
something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing. To police, right? Mm-hmm. Saying, I don't know what did he say? He said something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? Like
when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he
said something to the effect of, I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? Like
when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he said that he was, quote,
do they need batteries for their vibes? We need a new battery here.
I didn't know, he didn't understand what he was doing, right? Like
when police asked Clayton what he thought would happen when he fired the gun, he said that he was, quote, he said that, quote, he was mad and had not thought about that.
Exactly. And so here's what I talk about all the time in terms of violent crime, is that there are certain factors in violence that we know occur or reoccur all the time, like lack of empathy, like anger, right? Like a sense of entitlement, or envy or jealousy or greed. But one of the things that, for me, one of the preconditions that's almost always present is some type of violent ideation. Mm-hmm. And his comment there shows a complete lack of violent ideation. In other words, he didn't understand the causal connection between firing a gun and murdering his father. Right? That wasn't like he might have been angry.
Dude, shut up.
Angry because they took away his Nintendo Switch. But somehow, and he probably understood what a gun was, but I don't think he made the full connection between taking that gun,
so pull that trigger,
pulling the trigger,
right? Murder my dad.
He may have been a little angry at his dad. He may have been a little angry he didn't have a Switch, but I don't think he understood or equated that to what happened.
I agree. Right. So the violent ideation.
You know, they're so stupid. You know what would have been a better conversation is maybe limiting time on switches and tablets and computers and phones. Maybe that would have been probably a better, or games or whatever. That would have been a better conversation. But they just spent an hour and 15 literally telling us that it was because of autism. We don't know if the kid's autistic. We don't know anything about the kid. We just know that he shot his dad because the Switch was taken. That's all we know. And these clowns have spent an hour and 15 telling us it's about autism and linking it to other psychiatric issues. Thank you, G-Lander. I've lost 10 IQ points listening to these dummies. I know. You'll gain them back, though. Don't worry.
There's no right. Unlike Nick Reiner.
Oh,
right.
Shit.
And by the way, both of these.
There we go. There, you guys called it. Nick Reiner.
These are parasites.
Yeah.
Unlike Nick Reiner, who clearly has a lot of violent ideation from the past and from towards his parents, right? This is a child who doesn't have that necessarily.
This was a good TLDR right there. Too long didn't read, too long didn't listen. That right there.
What? TLDR?
This child didn't have, it sounds like, any violent ideation. This was a good TLDR right there. Too long didn't read, too long didn't listen. That right there.
What? Too long didn't listen? What is that even? TLDR? Who is she?
And from towards his parents, right? This is a child who doesn't have that necessarily.
This was a good TLDR right there. Too long didn't read, too long didn't listen. That right there. This child didn't have, it sounds like, any violent ideation. Violent ideation is what most criminals share, or lack of empathy. That doesn't seem to be the issue here. And now he's in the system.
Right.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, and I think
freaking sad.
This article, you know, good article.
What does that mean? Too long didn't read, too long didn't listen? What does that mean? I've never heard that before. Too long didn't read, too long didn't listen? Oh, it's a Reddit term? I just don't understand.
Overview but it doesn't talk about the autism. The headline is, quote, "I killed daddy." So we're not painting this 11-year-old as like a monster child.
Right.
And like, you know, maybe Abby Blabby on Facebook was the only one who got the autism stuff. That's where I saw it. And she
Abby
has
Blabby
sources within the family and or family friends and stuff. But like, now we're
Grayson's only source is Abby Blabby on Facebook. Go Hidden True Crime. You guys are so legit. So you get your info from someone named Abby Blabby. Not saying Abby Blabby is bad. I don't know who she is. But it's clearly not an official source, right? So she's saying Abby Blabby has connections to the family. They're literally just spewing this and going on about diagnosing this kid.
Painting a child as a monster when there's so much more to this.
So much more to it. And, you know.
Oh, I heard the wine glass.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I think. Right. I think it's misleading You know, one of our jobs, I think, here at Hidden True Crime is to the best of our ability, to weigh in with evidence and facts and research, and based on that, to like present things.
It gets worse,
truthfully,
Melmo. There's more.
Realistically.
Speaking of truthfully and realistically, what's it like working for us, Grayson?
Hand the phone. No.
What's it like working for Hidden True Crime?
It's great.
After we've taught you about being honest, sticking to facts,
No, it's
evidence.
Wait, how did this turn into what it's like working for us? What kind of horse shit is this?
Hand the phone. No.
What's it like working for Hidden True Crime?
It's great.
After we've taught you about being honest, sticking to facts,
No, it's
evidence-based research.
No, you're like really on the spot. No. No, it's great. It's like hanging out with friends all day. Like, really.
Yeah.
And work is just a part of life.
Work is life. Life is work.
Like, for me, it's one and the same.
Yeah, that's right. Our only arguments are me saying, I don't want to work anymore. And you're like, you better work.
Oh my God, she's fucking tanked. Did you hear? I don't want to work anymore. Holy. Wow. They just speculated for an hour and 15. And now they're all about facts. Thank you, G Lander. Dang. Thank you so much for your support tonight. You got a lot to say. They are about to have Gray Bay call this kid's family members to get the inside scoop. They haven't already. Sounds to me that they have already reached out. This is my prediction. My prediction is they've already reached out to Abby Blabby to find out if she has connections to the family. And this is going to be their next caw-caw to put their claws in. If anybody knows the family, warn them. But don't bother the family if you don't know them. But if you know them, warn them. Because these people have no good intentions other than making money.
No, it's great. It's like hanging out with friends all day. Like, really.
Yeah.
And work.
You have like a 60-some-year-old man as a friend and a fucking 40-some-year-old woman as a friend? Sounds so fun.
Psychopathy.
Work is just a part of life.
Work is life. Life is work.
Like, for me, it's one and the same.
Yeah, that's right. Our only arguments are me saying, I don't want to work anymore. And you're like, you better work.
I'm like, no, but I want to do this.
I'm like, I just want to stop working anymore. And you're like, you better work.
I'm like, no, but I want to do this.
I'm like, Our only arguments are me saying, I don't want to work anymore. And you're like, you better work.
I'm like, no, but I want to do this.
I'm like, I just want to stop working. And then Grayson's like, get to work.
I do. I really love to work.
Okay, before this goes totally off the rails, I just want to get it back on track to evidence and make the point that I off the rails. I want to get it back on track to evidence.
Did Grayson just squeal? Did you guys just hear Grayson squeal? They did it audio only. Work.
I really love to work.
Okay, before this goes totally off the rails, I want to get it back on track to evidence and make the point that I've wanted to make for a long time now in response to all these emails and all, like, autism does not cause violence.
Thank you.
TLDR.
TLDR, boom. Mic drop.
Headline.
All right, guys, is that right? I don't know. We not cause violence.
Thank you.
TLDR.
TLDR, boom. Mic drop.
Headline.
All right, guys, is that right? I don't know.
No, it's not a wrap. We're not done, y'all.
Well, I had a couple other questions. Can we just keep talking?
like clockwork. No.
There we go. This is where it really gets good. Buckle up. Buckle up. If you're sitting in the Cougar de Ville, put your seatbelt on because the road's about to get a little bumpy. It's about to, you think it's bad now? You thought that was bad? Shit. Here we go.
No, let's keep working.
No,
let's keep going.
No, this isn't work. This is actually
this
is
just a
interesting.
conversation.
You did talk. First of all, what's it like working for you? I feel like I just got like a master class in autism. True story. My family, because my brother, got like arrested at like 11 or whatever.
Dude, she's drunk. They got her drunk. I'm telling you, Grayson is drunk. I'm not going to say they got her drunk, but she got drunk. And they're putting this out into the universe. Okay, here we go.
Whatever, for hitting a door. They made us go through like family therapy. And this lady came over every Saturday morning. I remember I was like, thank God I have soccer practice on Saturday mornings. I was doing anything to get out of that. My sister, my parents.
Dude, what is happening right now? I told you. He's laughing.
Saturday morning. I remember I was like, thank God I have soccer practice on Saturday mornings. I was doing anything to get out of that. My sister, my parents would be like, you got to go get Gracie from soccer. And I'd be like, you don't have to get me. I'm going home with so-and-so today. But anyways, I remember, I think her name was like Nicole or something. I don't know. It was, a lot happened in those family therapy sessions. But there was like a time where she was, I don't know what the hell this lady was doing, but she was trying to get me to understand my brother's diagnosis, and she essentially gave me like a DSM book, and I'm like 11. She's like, well, if you...
What? Are they laughing about her therapy as a child? What's a DSM book? What's a DSM book? It's way TMI. The thumbnail don't lie.
All this lady was doing, but she was trying to get me to understand my brother's diagnosis, and she essentially gave me like a DSM book, and I'm like 11. She's like, well, if you read about this, you'll understand your brother's diagnosis more. I don't know if it was a DSM or what it was, but I remember opening it and being like, I'm not reading this. And the next week I handed it back to her and said, thanks.
Yeah.
And she said, did it help? I said, oh, it helped so much.
That's probably not the intervention I would have.
It was like what 11-year-olds.
What? Why would they give her a diagnostic manual? They probably gave her a book on her brother's diagnosis. And he's like, yeah, I don't think that that's the route I would have gone. Dude, she really feels important. She feels like she fits in. This is all manipulation on Grayson, and she doesn't even see it. But you guys, this is about to get real. All right, here we go.
I was gonna sit there and read.
You're like, yeah.
Be like,
no.
yeah.
So, anyways, what's it like working? It was like what 11-year-old's gonna sit there and read.
You're like, yeah.
No. So, anyways, what's it like working? I just got like a master class, and what maybe somebody should have taught me at 11 would have helped me.
You're like, that would have helped me.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets worse.
But then you did mention schizophrenia. Actually, I don't know if I've told you guys this. So you guys, I think I told you my dad was adopted, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where it gets deep.
And my dad didn't know much about his biological father until like a reporter essentially found.
Wait for it.
Traced our family back after my biological grandpa was found dead.
Yeah, wow.
It was a whole family tree history in another country. It was a whole crazy thing.
Okay. So she just said her dad's adopted, and hold on, I need to hear that part again. Her dad's adopted. It happened in Canada, by the way.
Would have helped me.
You're like, that would have helped me.
Yeah. But then you did mention schizophrenia. Actually, I don't know if I've told you guys this. So you guys, I think I told you my dad was adopted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my dad didn't know much about his biological father until like a reporter essentially traced our family back after my biological grandpa was found dead.
Yeah, wow.
It was a whole family tree history. In
Bio
another country. It was a whole
grandpa
crazy
found
thing.
dead.
But
Your reporter doxed your family.
Well, it sounds like they hired the reporter. I don't.
Her bio grandpa was found dead, and a reporter tracked down her family. Oh, yeah, Allie B from Tennessee. Right. Wait for it. It's getting deep. Now they all laugh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
A reporter doxed you.
The reporter did it on her own.
Oh, the reporter. What? Okay.
Yeah,
because-
she like traced back the family tree and then like.
Well, because they found somebody. They wanted
Because
to know.
your dad was a prominent business guy?
No, so long story short, I guess everybody's gonna go find this article. Have fun. Please don't post my dad side by side with his biological father. He'll never forgive me for that one.
They know that everybody's going to hear this. This is proof that they know that me or somebody else is going to play this and review it. Did you hear that?
Oh, the reporter. What? Okay.
Yeah,
because-
she like traced back the family tree and then like.
Well, because they found somebody. They wanted
Because
to know.
your dad was a prominent business guy?
No, so long story short, I guess everybody's gonna go find this article. Have fun. Please don't post my dad side by side with his biological father. He'll never forgive me for that one. But my biological grandpa was essentially he died in a homeless encampment in
That's what it was.
Canada.
They didn't know who he was.
They didn't know who he was.
So the reporter said, "Let's go find out who this man is."
He had no family. He had nobody, and so
Hi, Lori.
this
reporter
sweet
took it-
reporter,
Yeah.
like.
Wanted to give him an identity.
She wanted to give him an identity, and she wanted to trace back his life. He was known as, his name was George. People called him Yogi, and then they called him Bunny George because he would carry bunnies around with him. And long story short, they get in contact with they trace back to California. They trace his family. My dad found out he has a half brother through this, and then they trace back my dad's biological mom, who my dad found when the internet first became a thing. So they traced her back, and she goes, well, he has a son. We had a kid together that we gave up for adoption. So that's how this reporter connects to our family. She flew in from Canada, met the family, did a whole interview, but that was a very long way of saying
found the article.
that my grandpa had schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. And so when you mentioned it a couple times, could there be a link? We've always kind of wondered with my brother, what caused it, right? Is it just genetic? Did it skip a generation? So, because my dad doesn't have it, so did it skip you know what I mean? Or, also my brother was without oxygen for a little bit at birth, so that's always been, a question. Did that cause brain damage? We just skip you know what I mean? Or, also my brother was without oxygen for a little bit at birth, so that's always been, a question. Did that cause brain damage? We just don't know, but when you mentioned schizophrenia, it made me wonder if could there be a link.
Could you have it?
Schizophrenia and autism. Does that make sense? Schizophrenia made me wonder if could there be a link between schizophrenia and autism. Does that make sense? Loaded question.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking at John's face. I don't think you know. Do you know?
well, I think okay. There's again there is a potential link between autism and psychosis and violence.
Okay.
What?
But I mean, yeah, there could be. When you talk about your brother and the prenatal, remember I was talking about the importance of the prenatal environment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that could be part of it. The lack of oxygen for a brief period there could have clearly affected brain development.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there were a combination of factors that kind of came together.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, schizophrenia has a large genetic component.
Right. Well, I was just my broader question was could my biological grandpa's diagnosis have something to do with my brother?
Sure.
I don't know, because up until that point, we really until that article came out and that woman came and told my parents about my dad's biological dad.
You're
My parents were like, what caused it? Like, they didn't, and then they were like, wait, maybe that, you know what I mean? Like, they finally got like a little bit of information about his dad, and so then that's always just been like a question we've always.
I guess you'd have to know. I'd want to know with your grandfather, like how severe the schizophrenia was, right?
John's getting worried.
Look, I have the article pulled up because I actually wanted to ask about this. His mental health problems became more pronounced around this time. Various psychiatric reports, as well as his sister, would later say that he suffered from either paranoid schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder.
Okay.
Much of his 20s was spent on Southern California beaches, surfing and living what friends described as a beach bum lifestyle.
I got her grandpa on the screen.
His cousin remembered him as somewhat of a black sheep who never seemed particularly driven to work.
She's reading the article. Listen, she's reading the article that I have pulled up because the article's behind a paywall. And John is now getting worried, in my opinion. He's like, wait a minute. I don't think I knew this about you. This is her grandfather. And he wants to know how severe it is. There's his bunnies. Is that his tongue? I can't tell. I don't know. I pulled up what she said. She's reading the article for us.
Driven by work or family. And then Yogi's favorite thing was surfing. The only job he ever had was a bagger at a local grocery store in Laguna. That's all he did. So Vancouver woman who became a friend and landlord of him later in life.
Okay, so hear that door? Lauren's been away. She's been in the shitter. I listened to this part. She's been in the shitter. She hasn't heard all of this. Okay? She doesn't know exactly what John has just been told. She's about to come back to the mic.
Believe the onset of his...
Yes, and John is bookless for this. He's bookless for this portion of the podcast.
His mental illness, she believes schizophrenia in his early 20s, was the reason for his withdrawal and family in California.
She said, did you hear that? I might need to replay that. Listen what they say about her grandfather, her blood relative. Listen.
Landlord of him later in life, believed the onset of his mental illness, she believes schizophrenia in his early 20s, was the reason for his withdrawal and family in California.
Now listen to John. Early 20s. How old is Gray Bay? 24. Oh, we got a Hella raid. Thank you so much, Hella, for the raid tonight.
Thank you for your support.
Welcome in, Hella's peeps. We have we're listening to Gray Bay's family history. We're getting the family tree of Gray Bay. We have her grandfather, Papa. Bless his soul. He's up on the screen. She's telling us all about this. Yeah, he was diagnosed in his early 20s. Hella.
Lord of him later in life, believed the onset of his mental illness, she believes schizophrenia in his early 20s, was the reason for his withdrawal and family in California. So
how did he end up in Canada?
You know, I think it's in this article, but this is a really long article that I've read like 10 times.
Okay.
This is Grayson's bio grandfather.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's...
So I think the answer would be yes.
He withdrew from family, and then
Yeah,
I think
makes sense.
he ended up... His family, he's from Germany.
Okay.
And then I believe... Okay, yeah, so just after the Second World War, they immigrated to Canada, lived in Ontario, and then California. And then he was an avid surfer, a U.S. Air Force enlistee, spent time in prison and time on the street. He could be self-destruct. His journey was made more difficult by mental health issues. He could be self-destructive and violent, but also gentle and compassionate, particularly to the wild rabbits he caught and cared for. And more than any other pursuit or group of humans became part of his persona.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You hear John?
So,
He's
yeah,
like, interesting. He's scooting away. He's going to the other side of the bed. Right, Kitty? It's starting to make sense.
I think there could be some relationship.
I wonder. I mean, I guess there wouldn't be a way for me to like ever get those records, would there? It would be interesting.
Well, who diagnosed him?
You're asking the wrong person. Yeah. I'm just reading an article on my grandpa that I've never met.
You might be able to get him if he's deceased. I think.
I don't know. It would be interesting to see how bad it was.
Sounds like it was pretty bad if it was paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah, and then I know he didn't talk to his family at all.
That door when you heard it was Lauren leaving. She went in the shitter. She's in the shitter right now. Yeah, he's scared. He doesn't know what to say. He's like, I don't have a script to tell me what to say to this. I didn't expect this. You're in your early 20s. Your family has schizophrenia that runs in your genes. And you're basically living here with me and my wife and my kids. And my wife is living with you at your apartment.
See how bad it was.
Sounds like it was pretty bad if it was paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah. And then I know he didn't talk to his family at all. Because I believe at one point, my dad contacted his sister. And his sister just said, you don't want to know him. He's a bad guy. And that was it.
Oh my God. This is getting interesting. Wow. Jennifer Martinez, you need to start from the beginning. Oh my God. I told you the end was juicy.
Leave at one point, my dad contacted his sister. And his sister just said, you don't want to know him. He's a bad guy. And that was it. And my dad was just like, okay. And then never really knew anything else until nobody really ever, it was like kind of just like nobody talked. And my dad was just kind of like, I don't really want to open that can of worms.
Yeah.
And so it was never really a thing until this reporter brought down all this information that nobody had ever known about him.
Right. Wow.
Like all of a sudden my dad like learned everything.
Yeah,
well, I guess what he could learn.
How old was your dad when he learned all that? Do you remember?
I think it was back in like 2014. Like I remember being in middle school when it happened.
Okay, so I did word that wrong. Grayson wasn't adopted. Her dad was. This is her dad's bio dads. This is still her bio grandpa. She wasn't adopted though. I think I misunderstood that.
And so your dad really had no idea of who his father was.
He knew his name, and like my grandma would like occasionally say like a thing or two, but really no.
Okay.
Like my grandma and him got married. They had my dad, they put him up for adoption at birth. And that was it. And then my grandma always hoped that she would talk to him again, but then, which did end up happening because there was a name mishap. They were supposed to change the name on the birth certificate because it was a closed adoption, and the doctor didn't do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's how my dad found his mom. And then so she would say like a little bit about him, but she never really talked much. Short marriage. And then, so my dad just didn't know anything. So when he found out about like all the schizophrenia and stuff like that, it led to a lot of questions within our family of like, could this be partially where the mental health issues come in?
Do you think
I am so sorry. Thank you, Unsolved Amy, for the 5 cooterships. If you were the recipient, please thank her in the chat. Say, hey, thanks. Sorry, I was muted. Do you think John's getting a little concerned? Put a 1 in chat if you think John is literally saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's dumb, but he ain't that dumb. Lauren's still in the shitter. Has no idea that Grayson is spilling all of this to John. I don't know if she would care, but I see lots of ones. He got very quiet. He's like, yeah, oh, This just kind of changed. The whole tone, the whole feel changed.
I think your brother may have had schizophrenia?
We want.
That was the tell-all for me. He's like, this is John, guys. Do you think your brother might have schizophrenia? I mean, Janice says he's not concerned. He's getting arousal. 1 for concern, 2 for arousal. 1 concern, 2 arousal. You can be honest. It's okay. No one will judge you.
Mental health issues come in.
Do you think your brother may have had schizophrenia?
We wondered for a little bit, but no, I don't think so now.
We wondered?
But I think when he was 18, we did wonder for a little bit. It was rough. Right around that time, it was really rough. Luckily, I think he's stabled out since then, but yeah, it was
I wish this
not
was on
easy
camera.
back at that point. And so we, I guess it was our family was just trying to get answers, trying to figure out how this is caused and what do you do?
Right.
I think
you guys are trying to understand influences on your brother.
Right.
Influences.
And then my parents were just at a lost cause of what do we do? How do we help them?
Yeah.
And with the lack of resources can also come resources that aren't helpful that people get led into, right? So for example, my brother's 17.
Doing.
Somebody tells my parents about wilderness therapy. It says this is the best for him.
Hold on. What? She said wilderness therapy. What's going on? What the fuck? Okay, you guys, we know that John worked in wilderness camps for kids, teens.
What?
What is happening now?
So for example, my brother's 17. Somebody tells my parents about wilderness therapy. It says this is the best for him.
Okay.
So when he was 17, he essentially got kidnapped and taken to wilderness therapy.
And there's no wilderness camp in this country that is legit. Not one. There's no good camps like that are good. Allie, thank you for your super chat. Super chat. I told you this shit gets crazy, dude. We ain't even done. They still go on for another 15 minutes. I'm telling you, these 3 aren't dangerous. Only a matter of time. We will wait. Right. Wilderness therapy for someone who they thought was schizophrenic and had all these. Yeah. Oh, man, Shauna. Oh, wait, it gets better. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Here we go. Smoke them if you got them.
The best for him.
Okay.
So when he was 17, he essentially got kidnapped and taken to wilderness therapy for a few months.
Do you remember, did he go to Utah?
He went to Utah. Yeah.
He went to Utah?
Yeah.
Southern Utah?
I think it was southern Utah, yeah.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah, and he was there for 3 months. Okay. Literally till his 18th birthday. It was my parents' last ditch effort.
Did it work?
No.
Just help a brother out here.
Yeah.
I don't think they do work. I think they cause a lot of residual issues. Right? My brother has abandonment issues because he thought he was going on the trip of a lifetime to San Francisco and had a layover. Yeah. And then they stuffed him in a car and take him. They didn't tell him where they were taking him. Look, I'm not blaming my parents. My parents were told that this was what was best.
Yeah.
Professionals told my parents to do this. The doctor the psychiatrist that my parents were working with said do this. So my parents thought that they were doing what they should. So they coughed up $55,000 cash, sent him on his way, and thought that this would fix him, and instead it like traumatized him.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think those things are good for kids. But
right, and I mean, if there is a diagnosis of autism, it's not going to help with that.
right, no, sleeping outside and carving your own spoon. Right.
Lauren is taking the longest shirt ever.
Sid, thank you for the cooter chat. Thank you for breaking the monotony. She's taking the longest shit ever. He'll swear for you too. Yeah, this is wild stuff, right?
Yeah.
The door just opened.
Right. Yeah, if there's sensory integration issues or like wilderness therapy, yeah, I don't know. That's.
You guys are still going?
Here we're talking about wilderness.
I took a bathroom break, I'll be honest.
Well, I was explaining to my grandpa the background, and then I brought up again lack of resources, and then how parents can often, when they think they have the resources, it could be the wrong resource. For my brother, my parents were told that.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so what I think that could be happening here, just hear me out, okay? Picture me with my tinfoil hat on. Hear me out. Could it be that Grayson has been listening to us and reading everything that's on Reddit about John? And is she hosing John right now? I know hosing is probably a really 1980s term. Is she punking John right now? Is she fucking with John right now? Because I really don't think those are good for kids. Trolling him. There you go, Pines. Is she trolling John right now? While Lauren was gone. I'm old, Sleuthy. Cut me a sprout here. Trolling. Okay, I say hosed. You say trolling. But it just feels like it. It feels like she's poking. Or she made up the story to be relatable. That's, moderator, that is very possible.
Again, lack of resources, and then how parents can often, when they think they have the resources, it could be the wrong resource. For my brother, my parents were told that wilderness therapy was the right move.
Oh, really? They had wilderness therapy?
The psychiatrist,
in southern Utah.
Wilderness therapy. So did he go to wilderness therapy in southern Utah?
Yeah.
They did a Chad Frankie?
They pulled a Chad Frankie.
Oh my God, they're laughing about Chad Frankie? Pulled a Chad Frankie?
Fuck directly off.
Wow, man. Wow. Oh, we're here for the victims. We're here for the victims. He was a kid, man.
In southern Utah.
Wilderness therapy. So did he go to wilderness therapy in southern Utah?
Yeah.
They did a Chad Frankie?
They pulled a Chad Frankie.
Yeah, they pulled a Chad Frankie, which was probably it was probably the worst thing they could have done at that point.
Utah is like a big hotbed for those. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you, my parents were told that like this was the best thing they could do for him. It would get him on the right track. And
so
Grayson, it sounds like she's leading them.
Do you like it?
No. Yeah. Well, I was telling you, my parents were told that like this was the best thing they could do for him. It would get him on the right track. And
so do you like it?
No.
Did they kidnap him?
Yeah.
That's what they always do, man. Is that what they did to Chad Frankie too?
I think so.
Yeah, they did.
So for him, they told him, I knew ahead of time, and I was told, like, I think they literally instructed my parents to tell me, like, if she says anything, she's going to. Because, like, I was told, like, if you say anything, you're going to. So I remember
distortion.
What? You're going to? What in the pure fuck? And they're laughing, y'all. They're laughing. Where is difficult research? Oh my God, Crusha. Under Crusha is gonna be so fucking mad at this.
like if she says anything, she's going to. Because like I was told, like if you say anything, you're going to. So I remember
distortion.
I do remember the day he went away. I had like a massive panic attack at volleyball because I like had like this like intense guilt of what was happening and that I hadn't told my brother.
Wow.
Like I felt like I withheld like, and I knew what was happening. And I started looking it up as he was there. I got the name of it. Nobody told me the name of it until he was there. And I was like telling my parents, I'm like, this isn't good. Like, you guys don't understand what he's in. And they're like, no, they're telling us it's good. Like, this is... It's the classic story. If you watch any documentary on these places or anything, it's the classic story of what they tell the parents. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's similar to Nick Reiner in rehab, right? Like
Nick Reiner.
Oh my God, now we're back on Nick Reiner. That was not on my bingo card, and I don't know why. Oh my God. For the person who thinks they're trolling us, I just don't think, I don't think that this would be a way to troll us, if you will. Like, I feel like if this is trolling us, this makes them look really, really bad. I don't know if I can get down with that. I think John sounds very uncomfortable. I don't think that he's acting. Lauren is trashed. And I think Grayson has a buzz on.
I am very uncomfortable sitting here.
Thank you, Allie, for your super chat. She said, is this a cry for help from Gray Bay? I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think it's made up. I don't know if she's making it up, but I don't think this is planned between the three of them. Moderator thinks she's trying to engage John. It could be. It could be. Thank you, Unsolved Amy, for your support. I was put into one of the camps to straighten out. It was horribly abusive and not therapeutic in the least. Absolutely trash. Yeah, those camps are bad news. It's all bad news.
There's pictures of Nick Reiner at one that looked actually kind of nice. They have pictures of hiking.
No, it was like a spa, but that's not the point. The point is he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
The point is that there were times when they forced him to go and he didn't want to go. So all you're doing is creating resentment.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're creating trauma.
Right. For him, he had always dreamed of going to San Francisco. So he thought he was going to San Francisco, and it happened in Las Vegas. He thought there was just a layover in Las Vegas. And he was going to just get a quick lunch with my parents' friends, and they put him in a car, locked the door, and my parents said bye, and that was it.
Oh my gosh, they legit kidnapped him.
Yeah, he didn't know.
That's not traumatizing at all.
He thought he was going on a vacation. Thank you for this cooter chat. Why didn't it read it? Shirley. Oh, it's a super chat. JM just put all the families living with ASD into a very, very small box. I'm giving the shame back to you, Mr. John. Thank you for your super chat there, Shirley.
He's told me that they didn't tell him where he was going. Like
He thought he was going to be like cruising down the streets of San Francisco in trolley cars, and he ended up in like a cave making fire.
Well, what's frightening is just being kidnapped.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
It's created like abandonment issues, I think. I don't fault
which is horrible for, somebody with autistic spectrum disorder.
Right.
Those wilderness camps are strange.
I don't fault my parents for it because I don't think that they knew, right? They were given this and told this is what you do. Like this is how you help your child. And so anyways, my brothers told me like they didn't tell him until they were like pretty much there, like, yeah, this is your life, this is where you're at. And then he told me like a story, like the first night he slept in a sleeping bag, like a blanket, and they had people on like either side of him so he couldn't run, essentially.
Like guards?
Yeah, but it was like not counselors, not like camp counselors, but you know, like the people that like watch over the kids. But they like slept on either side of the blanket so like he couldn't get out and run.
Huh.
And then he told me like they would drop off like rice and beans like once a week, and they were just like outside. Like he came home, he legit lost like 85 pounds in 3 months. It was cool.
What the what? We have another Lejingo. We only have one more square open.
Crazy.
You know, wilderness can be such a peaceful place for people too. Like I know that you used to take like CEOs out to a day in the wilderness because it's such a peaceful place to do.
Yeah, but it's a different context.
I know. That's what's
You used to take CEOs out in the wilderness? Right. Dr. John had a wilderness camp. It was part of his strive. This is crazy. Remember that? Yes, remember that, Lee? There was a kid that was found unalive in the morning in his sleeping bag. I think that was in like North or South Carolina.
people too. Like I know that you used to take like CEOs out to a day in the wilderness because it's such a peaceful place to do.
CEOs out for a day in the wilderness. So he tortured adults? What?
Yeah, but it's a different context.
It's a different context. What kind of context is it? Did the CEOs have a porn addiction? Hawkeye, thank you for your super chat. Hawkeye wants to know, Jay, why do you think they would do this? So crazy to do. Why do you think they would? He's so crazy to do this video. Very weird and concerning. I agree. I don't know. It's very strange.
I know. But that's my point. Is it's so sad. Like you take someplace that could be peaceful and happy and then make them prisoners to it. Like think about that. Like it's so sad.
Well, the reason I did that, by the way, is because I wanted to change the context, right? Like if most CEOs are used to operating at their place of business and like they have control of that, right? They have complete power over that environment. But if you take them to a place where they're not in control of everything, right, and they're not all powerful and telling people what to do, then they're more vulnerable and they're more apt to actually open up or become more transparent about what it is they're dealing with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then you would take the CEOs and be like, by the way, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here overnight. You didn't know.
Hey, Sarah.
No, they were never overnight.
No. None of us at this table are proponents for wilderness therapy.
Well, I'm proponents for therapy in wilderness for like you just pointed out. For like
but not like children wilderness.
Taking yourself out there, I would go on hikes alone and for my own therapy, self-care.
Well, not teenage wilderness therapy.
Yeah, not kidnapping kids. Yeah. For that. Or taking them out. I know. You just don't know what's going on in those things, man.
I don't think my parents, I don't think they did, and I still don't think they do. I think there's like a disconnect of like, just like, as a parent, like, there's probably some feelings of, regret that they did that.
Guilt.
So you don't really want to.
You do what you feel is right. Yeah.
Right.
And when you're desperate, I think that's the other thing with those wilderness camps too, is like when you've got desperate parents and they have money and they're willing to do whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were super desperate.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I am
signing off.
You're getting tired.
Yeah, but I don't know how we're going to tie all this together.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I think this is a record of the longest Patreon episode we've ever done.
Yeah.
Talking.
It was a lot of talking.
Did I answer? Did we answer?
Where's
did
Lily?
I answer your questions?
Lily,
can you conclude?
Lily, can you come over here and bark a little bit?
She literally never barks.
I know, right? Exactly.
She really is the perfect dog.
Yeah.
Look, she's like, hasn't even opened her eyes. We've said her name 7 times.
No, she does bark, but only at the right times, which is when like strangers come to our door. She knows that there's strangers.
I know, and
That's true.
her bark is awesome.
Her
Strangers come to your door?
She would protect me. Yeah, she does bark if somebody knocks at the door, or like if somebody's coming up the stairs and she can hear it. But
did you have more questions?
no, I don't think I did. I actually just like this case was just really, I just couldn't stop thinking about it, and just thinking of it in the context of like the home I grew up in.
Yeah.
With a sibling who was violent, and how
There's so many. There are parallels. I know.
There's some moments that I remember that are very, very scary.
I knew when you came over this morning for work, and
she didn't come over for. Oh, he's such a liar, dude. This is so weird. Okay, so hear me out. Remember earlier in the stream, Lauren was like, or I'm sorry, Grayson was like, when I went home last night or the other night or whatever night it was when I went home, like, he's like, when you came over this morning for work, we all know. We already know. She stayed the night. Ew.
there are parallels. I know.
There's some moments that I remember that are very, very scary.
I knew when you came over this morning for work, and you brought it up right away. I knew it was important to you.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we had a chance to talk about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Grayson.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to our Patreons. We
Yeah.
realize,
Thank you guys for
and to our subscribers. Apple subscription too. Thank you. This goes on both places, but we are sincerely so grateful for your support. We know it's been a while. We've been really busy here. As I pointed out, Grayson doesn't let us stop working. It's good. We're grateful for her. We're grateful.
What
for
is it?
her.
I'm every podcast worst nightmare. I'm like, you're working.
And yeah, and there's just been so much going on that has been there's no excuse. We will do more. A lot of people have shared that
we have
they
to do
miss.
better.
A lot of people have shared that they missed that we would just turn on. Has been there's no excuse. We will do more. A lot of people have shared that
we have
they
to do
miss.
better.
A lot of people have shared that they missed that we would just turn on the voice memo and just talk about
And
whatever.
we'll do that, but I do want to say too that I'm working on the Micah Smith episode, which I think is going to be. It's going to be for me. It's going to be.
Who's Micah Smith? Who's Micah Smith? Isn't it Micah Miller? Is there another Micah that they covered that I'm not aware of? We're going to talk about who they're trolling. It's Micah Miller. He's working on Micah Smith's case. Doesn't even know her name.
That I'm working on the Micah Smith episode, which I think is going to be. It's going to be. For me, it's going to be one of the most personal episodes I've ever done. So I'm struggling with it a little.
Oh my God. It's going to be one of the most personal episodes. Oh, Micah Smith tortured children in Utah. Oh. It's going to be personal to him. Okay, I got you.
A little bit because it's going to be very, very personal, and it's going to be about my experiences of fatherhood. And so I want to get it right because it's really going to be dedicated to our son.
Oh, he said it.
And
I swear to God, people, I did not hear this part earlier, but they said it. That was a strict guess on my point, or on my part. We got a full bingo card. That was a good guess on my part. But, oh my God, he's going to... dedicate an episode about a man who took his kids hiking and tortured them. He's dedicating that to his son. He's dedicating it to his son. Why would you dedicate? That's as bad as her saying about the bed video. And I document this and you can edit it so I could show my son one day. Oh my God. Lord help me. I'm ordering pizza.
And I want him to be able to look back on that episode someday.
Why?
Fondly. Yeah. And so that's coming. That's coming.
No pressure.
What?
And so I want to get it right because it's really going to be dedicated to our son. Oh. And I want him to be able to look back on that episode someday fondly. Yeah. And so that's coming. That's coming.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
We literally, that's the opposite of what we always wanted Patreon to be, is no pressure. Like, turn it on. Well, NBD, no big deal. This is what's going on.
Well, we'll do those two. But some of the more produced episodes, like the one that I did, and I don't remember when I did it now, but the one we did a few months ago.
The Halloween one?
Yeah, the Halloween one, exactly.
This is going to be
Christmas.
This is
going to be
Halloween
more
with the Christmas tree.
Halloween.
This is going to be more like
the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah. Themed.
Christmas tree's almost down.
Yeah, it's halfway
down.
Their tree is still up?
I'm thinking of starting 2026 with a new table for our podcast.
You know what? You could just put
so
the
nobody
tree back
freak
up.
out.
You could just put the tree back up and just put some Valentine's decorations on it at this point.
Taking the tree down.
Well,
happy birthday,
yeah,
by
happy
the way,
birthday to you.
Oh, I was going to say happy birthday to our Jen Becky.
Yes, happy birthday to her, and happy birthday to you this weekend.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to...
We got a cooter
also
chat.
Full of shit. Poop emoji, toilet emoji, poop emoji. Thanks for making them entertaining. Folded hands emoji, red heart emoji, smiley face emoji, embarrassed smiley face emoji.
Thank you, T. Marie, for your cooter chat. That was great. They are full of shit. And you're welcome. Thank you for being here and helping me make it entertaining, because it's important to expose this shit. But man, it's rough to listen to. So I'm really glad that I have you guys. Thank you for being here. If you haven't hit the like button, if you could quickly do that, it does let YouTube know that we're here and we're doing something over here. We're trying to.
My fellow Capricorn, Becky.
Happy birthday to you.
Becky.
Oh, I was going to say happy birthday to our Jen Becky.
Yes, happy birthday to her, and happy birthday to you this weekend.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to my fellow Capricorn, Becky.
Becky. Grayson's like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, baby. I don't know, but Dr. Melmo, she said earlier, she was asked what it was like to work for Hidden True Crime, and she said it's like sitting and talking to friends.
Yes,
that's all.
All right, guys. Thank you for all your support. I feel like I'm the one who has to keep leading this back to something rational. Thank you guys for all your support.
Oh yeah,
we really value guys.
We'll turn this recorder on more because they do want the non.
Yeah.
They just want the behind the scenes.
Okay.
Shit.
Well, this is
Like
both.
that.
This is like research. Really value guys.
We'll turn this recorder on more because they do want the non.
Yeah.
They just want the behind the scenes.
Okay.
Shit.
Well, this is
Like
both.
that.
This is.
They want the behind the scenes shit like that. Can you imagine if she had the camera on and she's in her little, we got a cooter chat.
To dedicate such an episode to his child is disturbing. It almost seems demonic and threatening to me. Red flags for days.
Snazzy, thank you for your cooter chat, and I agree completely. Why would you want that to be something that honors your son? Such a sick ass case. They want the behind the scenes shit. Sitting there in her little sheep and flowers and cherries on her sweater. She ain't, she's so fake, dude. These people are horrible. deplorable. Thank you, Kylie, for your super chat. On behalf of all Capricorns, she's not with us. And some of us have Taurus moons. They not like us. They not like us. Not at all. I don't know if I still have that one.
That fuck 'em up. I'ma do my stuff.
That was probably really loud. I apologize. All right, let's finish this out.
This is like research and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It was great. No, it was really, really good. No, this was great. What I'm saying is we want your Micah Smith.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that. But
That's
we
coming.
also just need to start turning on this voice memo more. Like when we're picking up your dad for dinner.
No,
and,
we're not
we're
gonna do that.
And it's
That's like
stressful.
That's too personal.
That's too personal. But we just heard all about Grayson, her brother, her family's trauma, all this trauma of people that aren't even in this room. But picking up your dad's too personal, huh, John? Do it, Lauren. Do it, lady. Record the father-in-law. Rhinestone, thank you for your super chat on the replay crew, but thanks for something to look forward to after work. You're very welcome. Thank you for your support.
This voice memo more. Like when we're picking up your dad for dinner.
No,
and,
we're not gonna do that.
And it's
That's like
stressful.
That's too personal.
Did you hear her? It's the most stressful. Dude, how isn't he old? And didn't he just lose his wife not too long ago? She's so rude.
That's like, what? What? What did you say? I can't hear you, John. No, I love my dad.
Wow. I only wish I had my dad. This guy's a fucking prick. This guy's a fucking prick. Fuck you, John.
What? What? What did you say? I can't hear you, John. No, I love my dad. So, but I mean, he refuses. He should have been wearing hearing aids for 10 years, and he won't. So I'm like, every day I'm like, Dad, you got to put your hearing aids in. He's like, what? What did you just say?
How many pairs?
Your hearing aids.
Oh my God, he keeps going. Janice says he loves his dad's money. He didn't have to go on and on, though, Lindsay. He didn't have to go on and on. This is... Ugh.
AIDS.
Your hearing aids.
Your who? Your what?
I want a root beer.
Your hoop the what? Like, okay. Anyway, all right.
Should be easy to.
Your who? Your what?
I want a root beer.
I mean, we don't hear good stories about his parents. So it's not like we can balance it out, right? Like we haven't heard good stories where we can say, oh, you know, it's funny because they talk about him in all these funny ways. It's just his personality. No. They don't talk about him, at least from what I've heard. And this is what I've heard. This is not funny.
Your hoop the what? Like, okay. Anyway, all right.
Should be easy to turn on the recorder. We talk a lot.
All right, we gotta finish this. So, thank you guys. All right, have a good night. Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night.
That's how they ended it. Oh my goodness, thank you,
I
Mom.
forget what interview it was, but Lauren talked about her aging father-in-law and having to keep an eye on his checkbook since seniors are so easily scammed. If I were on the Matthias side, I might look into that little Seuss.
Ooh. Oh, she said, I forget what interview it was, and thank you so much for your generous super chat. I forget what interview it was, but Lauren talked about her aging father-in-law and having to keep an eye on his checkbook since seniors are so easily scammed. If I were on the Matthias side, I might look into that. It's a little sus. Janice says it was in the Henderson body cam. Good catch. Wow. This is on the internet for anyone to hear. Yeah. And even Grayson worded it like she knew this was going to be shared. How else does John not work and they have money? Yeah. I did hear, I never was able to like actually confirm it. But with this being said, it kind of reminds me of something that was emailed to me. But like I said, I can't confirm it. So just kind of keep it in the back of your mind as just like a little thought back there. But I did hear that there was some kind of an issue where her in-laws were wanting to question her about something to do with like Spanx charges. It was something like that. I'd have to go back in the email and read it. But it was something to do with some kind of charges. And I kind of took it as it was charges like on the parents' cards. Like maybe it was a sibling questioning or, something like that. But it was something about Spanx charges. So I'm not sure. But thank you again, Mom Interrupted. That was really generous of you. I appreciate you supporting the channel in that generous way. G Lander, can you AI analyze the transcript? Absolutely, I will. Absolutely. Maybe we can go over that this weekend. Yeah, the inappropriate laughing. Yeah, like orders for Spanx. Yeah, and Christina did say that the in-laws like cut them off or something or won't have anything to do with her. Yeah, Spanx, like the body shape stuff. Yeah, llamas, it is. I think he's got a couple of brothers, Nikki, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the slimming undies. There you go. Thanks, Pines. No, that made me sick. That ending. Ugh. I didn't hear that before. John Spanx. That's why his neck is falling out of the neck of his shirt, right? Well, congratulations, you guys. You guys filled the bingo card. Let me go ahead and get this off the screen. I think what I'll do is I will analyze the transcript of this. I'm going to have to upload it to YouTube. And then we'll go over the AI. That will be really interesting to break this down. Whoever had that idea, wonderful idea. Thank you guys for using the Cooter Chat option tonight. I really, really appreciate it. I ordered myself some pizza, so I hope you guys have your dinner or enjoy your dinners if you haven't had it yet. Tomorrow is what? Saturday? I'll be live tomorrow. Earlier than this. I'll be live for coffee. Coffee and AI breakdown. What do you say? About the homestead thing, I personally don't believe that. Let me show you why. Don't go anywhere yet. I've got one more thing to show you. Hold on. Let me log in. I forgot one night I did put that into Chat GPT, that whole thing that was posted on Reddit about their supposed homestead, and it's not real. But let me show you. Oh man, I don't know which one it's in. Maybe I'll have to find that for tomorrow. Hold on. Let me see if it's here. I did plug it in here because I was like, that does not seem real to me. I'll have to find it. But that whole thing did not seem real to me at all. That whole homestead thing, I don't think it's real. Because I'd need to see property records and stuff. It basically what this thing told me was that it was basically an AI generated image, and all of the above was AI. Like, it's just not a real story, I don't think. I need to see more. It comes from Reddit, and a lot of people do believe it, Kylie. It's been around, but I haven't seen any property records or anything. Someone made like an AI generated image of a house that was supposed to be theirs and all that. Yeah, that article it's fake. It's totally made up. Oh, toe beans. We can chit chat for a minute. I know you asked Pines, but I'm going to read it anyways. Tobin says, OVG and the Pines, did you hear what Kathy P did in regards to Sinner, Craig, and Julia the dog handler with her friend checking their military history? I did hear that. I was very surprised to hear that. Oh, wait, there's Christina Mack. But wait, I think they were married before they said they were. Who? Who, girl? Who? John and Lauren? Oh, it was probably all staged. Right? Aw, Salma Blue, I'm sorry you lost your dad so early in life. I think they got... I would love to see... Okay, you know what I would love to see? Speaking of that, Christina Mack, I would love to see a copy of their marriage certificate to see if Janice and Alex Cox really were their witnesses. Oh my God, she dropped a video, y'all, and she looks like a German soldier. Oh my God, look at this. Lauren. Oh my God, look at this outfit.
What a Friday.
What a Friday is right. What in the pure fuck Friday? Look at this. What is this? She looks like she does. She looks like a German soldier. She's hungover. What a Friday.
An Ohio grand jury has now officially indicted Michael McKee, and prosecutors say the gun used to kill Monique and Spencer Tepe was equipped with a suppressor, fired behind a locked bedroom door while their children slept just feet away. We have the indictment. We've read it, and I am going to break it all down for you.
No, she's back at home. I think this must be an office at home. They're all at the house. They're all at the house. I don't think this is the orange couch. The many faces of Matthias. She does. She looks like she's at war with the truth. Oh, dude. You could totally make so many memes out of this. November 15, 2015, her last name was Matthias, but yet she claims they were married June 2016. Little trivial lies add up. Sure do. Lots of leakage. That's what I like to call it, Miss Christina. That leakage is overflowing. The resume on Reddit has that receipt. Thank you for following up with your receipt. Is she interviewing Teddy Roosevelt? Well, I just want to say that if we were being punked by that Patreon live, which I don't think we were, but if we were being punked, it surely makes them look a lot worse than it does us, right? Which rabbit hole, Lindsay? God, I got to check my emails. Every time I get up from here, I never want to come back in. And then we met Grayson's bio grandpa. I mean, this was full. This was full of stuff. It was a full night, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I can't wait to hang out with you guys again tomorrow. I've got a lot in the works. I got to crack my ass into shape and get to work and get on the grind again. I swear to God, I'll get back into it. I just been in a little lull, like take a little break, and then you're like, oh, it's hard to get back into the swing of things. You feel so out of the loop, and there's so much to catch up on, and it's overwhelming. But I'm here for it, guys, and I hope you're here for me too. Hit the like button, please. We're gonna dance it out. Let me get that ready.